Greetings, everybody, and welcome to our Masters of the Universe Revolution review panel. This is it. This is the wake, folks.
Revelation at the very least, but yeah, who cares at this point?
And our good friend Doug Nelson has graced us with this very accurate artwork here.
Yeah.
That voice you hear is the one, the only lovely Lorena Creel, one of our toxic femmes. How you doing?
I wish I could say I was doing better after watching this.
Me too. Also joining us is the one, the only Mexican Iron Man himself. Mike, we need a hero, and you're here.
Well, today I'm not feeling like the hero we probably need, but I'm the one you're going to get. So
I need a hero.
Well, you're far better than Kevin Smith at this point.
I'm holding on.
Hell yeah.
Until the end of the night. And of course, we're also joined by my partner in crime, the boss man himself, Andre. Drunk as hell. No.
Yeah, I've been sipping my vodka like for a good few hours.
Quit sipping, slam that shit.
I started after the first, I started drinking more and more as the episodes went by. So yeah, now we're good and tipsy here. So yeah, good times. And we have quite a few people joining us here already. We have Shogun76 is here saying rest in peace, He-Man. Stephanie Janishek Smuggler's Cantina is here, which we really appreciate.
Hey, Stephanie.
Life Lesson says so much disgust. Silver Nova is here. Kaylee D is here. Nerd Cookies is here.
Hey.
And you don't have to be familiar with everything. Just know it's a big loss. I'm gonna share my story with it at the very least here. The Jack of All Cash will send us a 99-cent super sticker, so thank you so much to that. And Erik Runge Madsen is here representing Denmark, saying welcome to the Tipsy Viking Pub and Grub. Yes, indeed. And Eric Kelly says, yo, Andre, and Wild Rose sent a super sticker. So, yeah, thanks for that. And David Stout says, the wake of He-Man. And that is exactly what that's kind of like what this is. So, yeah. Let's, yeah. And Andre finally drunk on stream. Hallelujah. Actually, it's happened once before. But then it was a happy occasion. That was when The Punisher was announced for Netflix. Or actually in Daredevil, so it's been a while. That was a much happier occasion than this. Ben Bell says, I think it was worse than expected. I would say so. We were expecting bad. Were we expecting this bad, Lorena?
No.
I think Arun said it to us best. It may have even been after the stream earlier, but she said it was just basically like an insult. And I mean, it just almost like, in the grand sense of the term,
that reminds me,
like intentionally insulting.
Yes, like they said, yeah, we're just going to pretty much rip your heart out, let you look at it, and then we're going to stomp on it while you watch and die.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Pretty much. I'm just going to send a link here to who's also joining us. Just give me 1 second for that, and you'll be here momentarily. And I'm going to share what He-Man means to me, because this thing right here is The Last Jedi all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And with the first Last Jedi, that was something that I understood. I understood it rationally, what it was doing, why it was so bad, why it was so disrespectful. But I didn't feel it. Like, I could analyze it, talk about it completely dispassionately from a purely business point of view, because I was late to Star Wars. It was too late for me to become a fan of it by the time I discovered it. I've always been very, very open about that. I don't dislike Star Wars, but I'm not a fan of it. And so I was horrified to see what was done in The Last Jedi and the sequel trilogy as a whole, but it didn't hit me emotionally because I didn't have that attachment. He-Man is a completely different story. I am not exaggerating when I say that He-Man is my Star Wars. And I'm going to take you back on a little story because this is the perfect time to say it with what He-Man means to me. Some of you have heard this before, but let's repeat it for good measure. Because I grew up in Norway. And I grew up in Norway, like my memories begin in the early to mid-80s. And that means that I'm the last generation that remembers the Norway that once was. Today, Norway is a fully Western state. We have all the same stuff that you do, all the same TV programming, all the same channels, all of that. Like we're pretty much like the 51st state almost. But not then. Not as I was growing up. At that time in Norway, you had many people who were very close to the at that time, as I was growing up, you had many people in charge that had some very strong Soviet sympathies, especially people working in the media. So we had one state channel, and the programming that was fed to kids was pure propaganda. So my kids, the generations before me and myself in the earliest years, we were reared on a combination of Soviet moles running around in nature and Soviet neighbors doing home improvement and Yugoslavian space girls, in addition to some homebrew. The only thing we got from like Western was that we got Postman Pat, a good worker, Fireman Sam, another good worker, and from America we got one thing, Fraggle Rock, because they were good socialists. They had like good socialist values and everything like that. In general, everything was gray and dreary. It wasn't bad. Some of that stuff was pretty awesome and cool, and I'd be very happy to share it with you, but it didn't do much to promote diversity of thought, let's say. It was very clear, the message that it was conveying. And then one day, one glorious day, we got Sky Channel that, due to some cosmic imbalance, suddenly made its way to our TV sets. There, those older than me suddenly discovered music. They suddenly became rickrolled, listening to Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up, when it was first new, and that rocked their world. And their parents were horrified because what's this horrible, decadent crap coming in? And kids like me, we were suddenly exposed to American cartoons. We were exposed to G.I. Joe. We were exposed to Inspector Gadget. We were exposed to the Transformers. But the one that really freaking blew our minds was He-Man. He-Man had a particular effect on me because what it showed me was that there's a whole different world out there. Not like a world of the imagination, but a completely different world than the one at home, than what I was used to. He-Man not only was my first English teacher, He-Man opened my eyes. He-Man made me an independent thinker. He-Man taught me values. That's what He-Man is to me. He-Man led me down the path of critical thought and also love of genre entertainment that would eventually lead to Midnight's Edge. Everything that I love, everything, all that can be traced back to He-Man. So He-Man isn't just my Star Wars. It's more like He-Man is a life-changing experience. It was then when I saw it at age 5, something like that, it changed my life. And it may sound silly, but it's true. That's what He-Man means to me. That's what it is. And I've been a huge fan of the property ever since, when it's been dormant. And the funny thing is that now we are at the same time period between now and the 2002 revival as between the 2002 revival and the original series. So there's been a lot of dead time in between there, but I've always retained my love for the property and for the franchise. And seeing Revelations today, that fucking hurt in a way I don't think I have ever been hurt by any other genre property ever. That's my story, and that's my thoughts on this. So I'm gonna give give you all the opportunity to say what does He-Man mean to you, and what did this series do for you? Like, real quickly, what were your expectations, and what were your memories of He-Man? Lorena, let's begin with you. You're muted.
Okay, we're good now. He-Man was that genre of like 90s cartoons along with G.I. Joe and the X-Men and my other favorite companion show that Netflix screwed up, which was She-Ra. He-Man was one of those where I loved adventure. It didn't matter that the cartoon cast was mostly male. That didn't matter to me. What mattered to me was that I could get to see heroes who were unapologetically male and female characters who weren't demeaned, who weren't set as beneath the male characters. If anything, they were literally like their right arm, like Sorceress, like Teela, even villainesses like Evil Lynn. Okay, she's like Skeletor's right arm. I absolutely loved her as a villain. Teela, I loved her. Loved how she supported Adam. Loved how, she was there for everyone to do what she could for Eternia. And I didn't feel like anything was missing with her. And even the spinoff, She-Ra, that's when I lost my freaking mind. I found out that, she and He-Man were actually brother and sister. I'm like, what? That show, She-Ra, did so much for me as a girl. And so many of my friends and everything, when we figured out that She-Ra was actually going to be brought back, we were excited, and then saw what the heck that crap was that they did on Netflix. And it's like, it just ripped my heart out. I said, forget it. I'm not going to, no, just done with that. But then I hear the buzz about He-Man, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're going to fix this. I loved He-Man. I have so many memories of watching it, so many memories of watching it in reruns with like kids I used to babysit and my nephews who were just like, wow, this is really, really cool. And just enjoying that with them and them getting to see positive male characters. So I thought maybe Kevin Smith was going to, do us justice with it, that he was going to do right with He-Man, and we were going to see fixed what wasn't fixed in She-Ra. And then I see the first episode. And in the first episode of Masters of the Universe Revelations, they kill He-Man within the first 5 minutes. For no, it seems like it's noble, but it turns out it's not. And it sacrifices for nothing because the sword is split, which I didn't think could ever happen for. And so that's a whole nother thing. But the fact that you kill him that fast, and not only did you kill him once, but spoiler for a couple of episodes down, episode 5, you kill him again. Mm-hmm. You kill him again. Mm-hmm. And it's like for me, it's like watching The Last Jedi. It's just like you took an amazing male cartoon character, ubiquitous in pop culture. I mean, if you ever go on Netflix and you watch The Toys That Made Us, which is one of my favorite shows to like watch on there, go watch the He-Man segment. Go watch the people who are like our age, who are like, I remember what I felt like when Prince Adam pulled out that sword, he held it up and he said, by the power of Grayskull. And you see like everybody saying that, and even people saying it like in their own native language, all together saying that. And this is what Netflix gives us. And not only do they give that to us, but they decide to make it the Teela show, not tell us it's the Teela show. But that's exactly what it turns out to be, is the Teela show, which she's a complete and utter, excuse my language, a complete and utter bitch. And I've never been in a place where I've watched He-Man where I'm rooting for Evelyn because she seems to be the most sane out of the whole freaking bunch.
Yes.
I will say the same thing before. I've heard to say we had a new member in Ron Harushin, so welcome to that. Before
Hi.
we talk, I will have to just say that the
Hey,
exact same
Lorena.
thing.
So excited to see her face.
Teela in this series was a complete and total bitch. That is complete. I agree with that completely. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, in that sense, was spot on voice cast because she really brought out the bitchiness. But anyway, I'm not going to take up any more scene here. Share your feelings. What's your memories of He-Man, She-Ra, the Masters of the Universe, and your brief overview of this series?
Well, I have very similar experience that Lorena had. I remember coming home from school and it was what was on, and you were waiting for those episodes to come on. I mean, you were really looking forward to this. And, there were so many wonderful things in the story, especially the female characters. They were elegant. They were warriors and sorcerers, obviously, but they were elegantly portrayed. And you wanted to be like those characters. I wouldn't have mind being in that universe. And if I wasn't going to be a sorceress, then I could be a warrior. But either way, their acts were noble. And, at the end of each, every single episode had a meaning and it was supposed to teach you something. Yeah. And, I loved how, which was pretty common at the time, but it meant something to whoever was writing this. They knew that we as young people were watching these episodes and absorbing everything from it. The relationships that were created and how people dealt with problems in the series. How amazing He-Man was. He was incredible. There was just so many elements of it. And at times, even during the regular series, sometimes I shifted. I was like, maybe this person's not so bad. Maybe they'll redeem themselves. And it just was a fun, entertaining, fantasy experience. That every day you had a new thing to look forward to. So, when I saw the advertisement, and of course we've been talking and had such great expectations for this particular series, I go onto Netflix and I see a picture, and the first picture that I see is a picture of He-Man. And, and it says Masters of the Universe Revelation. So I'm thinking, oh, look, they've got this big, beautiful picture of He-Man. He looks wonderful. He's going to get in there and find something. And he's just going to, get down to business and show us the way. Only to find that in the first episode, he's, just pretty much disposed of. And, not even a second thought. And I think, Andre, you had mentioned this before. That his parents aren't even given a second to grieve him. It was quick, it was fast, and right away we find out how angry Teela is. And I thought to myself, is this the Masters of the Universe or is this The Grudge? What is this series? What is it? What were we trying to learn here? Because usually, we're taught, that we're responsible and sometimes things disappoint you. I could see somebody saying, well, sometimes things disappoint you in life and we talk it out, you don't, we try and work it out. That would have been the message for, let's say, episode 1, if she found out something and she was disappointed, but we weren't given that. There was real anger, and I'm like, I just didn't feel that what she was upset about was something to be so angry about. I thought maybe, it could have gone in such a different direction where maybe Teela had said, I really loved Adam and I'm really angry that I lost him.
We can get into those details of the episode
sorry.
later. Yeah. For I know before we hear Mike and Tom's take, we just had Valiant Renegade join us. So share with us all real quick.
Hey guys, ladies.
What does He-Man mean to you? And real quick overview before we dive into the details here.
Yeah, I'll make it simple. I grew up with the toys. I mean, I was an 80s kid. I was born in the late 70s. I grew up, I still remember having the big, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was like this big skeleton thing. They used to walk around like a dinosaur. I used to have Castle Grayskull. I had all the toys, all the figures. I remember getting up. They used to rerun those things like crazy in the mornings. Saturday mornings they had them on. I don't know. I mean, it was like everything for kids in the 80s, especially for boys. And I mean, I even watched like I said, when they had the She-Ra show, all that kind of stuff. Everybody was into He-Man. So this was big stuff. And when I saw, and I did a video about it a while back, when I saw the first teaser trailer, I got really excited. The animation from Powerhouse, of course, I'm a Castlevania fan, so I knew what I was going to get animation-wise. And like we said before, Andre, the other night on Mead, Kevin Smith just couldn't shut his mouth and just kept making this worse and worse and worse and worse until all of our fears that he laid into seems to have got confirmed. I haven't even made it through the first episode yet. I checked out when Sarah Michelle Gellar turned around after getting the sword and goes, for Eternia. And I'm like, that was such poor voice casting for that character. But anyway, I just...
Mike, I know wanting to share your feelings. Hear it.
Well, I'm going to hold off on my ranty comments that are.
I'm gonna get some more drink. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you what it. Let me set the backdrop of what it means to me. So everybody on the internet who knows me knows that I'm a great Star Trek fan. They know I'm a big time Star Wars fan. I played with these characters every day after school. Every freaking day. And you know what? We had no money. I remember one time I wanted a character. Let me just explain this. Aside from G.I. Joe, I played with more, probably the most. But the action figures were so expensive. And we didn't have any money growing up. But the thing that, and I told this story a little bit on one of the shows, is that the great thing that He-Man is that all the kids in my apartment complex, none of us could afford everything, but each one of us would get something. And for a good multiple year run, we all had some of us had 2 or 3 of, that overlap, but together we had everything. So we could relive and recapture all of the episodes and redo those stories. And that's what we did. We did it every day and on the weekends. And so, when I was watching what happened this morning, and I'm going to hold off on my rant and some of my feelings about the episodes until we go do the next round with everybody. I'm completely surprised with the depth of the reaction that I had to this, even though I probably knew what was coming. And I think I realize now why it snuck up on me, because I had a personal, physical, this is hitting me more than Star Wars, for sure. Now, the only thing that I think that might piss me off more or set me off more is if they screw with Captain James T. Kirk, who I grew up with as a stepdad, as a latchkey kid. And I don't even want to imagine that happening. But I'm more than Discovery, more than Picard, more than what they did when they came back with the movies in 2009. I'm holding back every ounce of anger and emotion just to explain that, listen, I played with all of my closest friends at a young age. I look forward to retelling the episode stories every freaking day. And that's what it means to me. And I'll hold off on my rant until we go around, because I did see I saw 4.5 episodes. And then when you sent me the link for today's show, I literally took my phone, threw it in the air like the Last Jedi lightsaber, and it landed on the sofa. And then I had to go get the phone and find the link for the StreamYard bit. Well, that's what it means to me.
We saved you so you have time to embrace yourself for what is to come.
There's more.
You will not like it.
Anyway, so that's what it means to me. What does it mean to me? It means a little Mexican kid, who all my friends were white. I was the only Mexican kid in this apartment complex. And we got to play every day with our little figures. And we redid every episode every single day. We raced home to do it. And none of us could really do any one episode because we didn't have all the characters, because we're all broke as fuck. But together, it's what me and my friends did.
Yeah. Tom, how about you?
Oh, boy. Well, I mean, I've told this story a few times, so I'll try and keep it brief here. But, I mean, He-Man was my first real, thing I was into as a kid, right? Like Mike was saying, and Valiant, too, I think we're roughly in the same age group to where, yeah, that's what everybody was into He-Man. It was there. I don't remember it not being there. And really, it was, as a toy, it's one thing, you play with it. You don't really know what it is. You create your own kind of little adventures. But then, I've told this story before. One day when I was about 4 years old, my dad said, "Here, come sit down." And he had me sit down in front of the TV. and he flipped it on, and I Love Lucy's playing, and I'm like, why do I want to sit here and watch I Love Lucy? He's like, no, just wait, just sit there. I'm like, all right, whatever. And all of a sudden, after I Love Lucy's done, you know, the Filmation logo comes up, and He-Man, and all of a sudden, here is He-Man talking to me on the TV screen. And I was just like, oh my God, my toys have come to life. And I was, for the next 30 minutes, you could not make me move. I was just enthralled with that show. And every day since that, I watched every episode of that, going into She-Ra. You know, I mean, constantly, whenever I could find the videotapes, would buy or rent them. If I ever caught repeats, I would record them. I mean, the show was like my favorite show growing up. Sure, I moved on to other things, but I mean, He-Man was bigger to me than any G.I. Joe or Transformer ever could be. And, you know, it wasn't really until like Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles came along that other things outside of Superman and stuff like that. Yeah, I was into superheroes and Superman the movie and stuff like that. But I mean, He-Man was He-Man. You had a castle, and like Mike was saying, all my cousins and friends had different things, and we'd all get together and we'd have all the sets. And I mean, it was just this moment in time. And, you know, it kind of died and faded out with the movie in '87. That was kind of the first kind of funeral for this franchise. But you know what? I'll take that any day over this crap. So I'll get it. Let's get into the other stuff now.
Yeah, before we get into the other stuff, I wanna run through a couple of super chats here, what you all have to say, and then we're gonna start breaking down each episode one by one. He sent us 20 Swedish krona saying, I'm cracking open a Carlsberg for this one. Yeah, you do that. And HyperGyver2 says for $5, lock me in a room with Kevin Smith while the Doom Eternal soundtrack is playing.
Wow.
Jack of all casual sent us an angry super sticker, which says it all. Nikki D says for $10, thank you so much. Luke Skywalker, Jean-Luc Picard, Loki, and Man-at-Arms were emasculated and forced to apologize for being a man. When will this insidious trend in Hollywood just freaking end? Yeah, everyone had to apologize. All the men had to apologize for being men, apart from Beastman. He was just groveling. But we'll get into that. Wild Rose sent us a $99 Canadian poopy super sticker, and Nicholas Horton sent us a £2 British douche dog super sticker, like the douche dog. You know, the Shiba Inu just can't say douche or dosh. But yeah, the Shiba Inu super sticker. Ralph Mack says for $2 Australian. What's chance the Dune script remains good? Drink more. Well, let's hoping that they didn't change it too much, so I think the chances for that are good. SDR Red Wolf says, we will need to be mixing pan-galactic garble blasters for this. Have some beer money. Yeah, I should say so. Like, smoke them if you got them, and pour yourself a stiff one, because you're going to need it. Electric Barbarella 27 says, rest in peace, Orko. Yeah, he will be missed, and we all liked him, contrary to what Kevin Smith is trying to tell us. Big Z says for $5, looks like we can add He-Man to the pantheon of great properties that went to crap because of wokeness. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Yeah, we can indeed. And Carolina Ramos Fabian says for $100 Mexican. Well, thank you so much. As a woman, I'm tired to be used in a false form of feminism that looks equally misogynistic and misandrist. Why do the producers pretend that to elevate a woman, you have to humiliate men? That is a great comment right there. And yeah, that's the irony, because what I find so frustrating here is that this series was one that was marketed as being for the fans of the 80s. This was, we're going to continue like before, we do this in animation, so we don't have to try to like appeal to absolutely everyone. This is for you guys. And the beauty with that is that in the process of making it for the fans of the 80s, they would, by a byproduct, make it accessible for everyone. But in trying to make it more accessible for everyone, they made it misandrist and made it made it accessible to no one. And also Mags says for $5, consider this a donation to the We Need Drinks ASAP fund. Kevin Smith is a fraud and gave us false advertising. Insulting indeed. And that, then we had Not That Alt-Right Guy says for $50. Thank you so much. I feel you, Mike. I have a 2-year-old and looking forward to this intro our nerd world. We are first gen beyond reading that can share our favorites with our kids in real time. This BS is ruining it. You all have made this point. That except, and then it's split up here. I think I can't bring up any more, but yeah, feel free to continue in a later message there. But yeah. And Warwolf, no, I haven't missed anything. We just haven't caught up with everything yet, so we'll get back to it. And then Kaiju King Gabriel says, Hail Andre, Tom, and the panel. Andre, have you ever heard of a YouTuber named Arch Warhammer or Arch? He is your countryman and has great lore videos. He covered the SAS debacle as well. I have never heard of him. Can't say I have. We'll have to check that out. But with that, let us continue and get back into each individual episode. Now, the first episode. I know that this is the one episode that you have seen, Valiant. So let's begin with you. What's your thoughts on the first episode of Teela and the Mistresses of the Universe Revelations?
Well, I think, or at least it's been talked about to one degree or another, and on the ride home in between this show and the last show y'all were doing, I was listening to Clownfish. Neon and Geeky Sparkles finally got their video out on it, and you can imagine Geeky just wasn't holding back at all. So I kind of have to agree with what they were saying since the beginning, and I've said it since the beginning too. The animation, like I said, the Powerhouse did looks beautiful. I love Lena Headey as Evil Lynn. I think that's a perfect fit. She's fantastic, but then again, it's Lena Headey. She's fantastic. I mean, I loved her in a role that probably nobody on this panel has watched. Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive, which was it was a cinematic animation piece done as a prequel to the Square Enix game. Lena Headey was in that, playing Princess Lunafreya. She was frickin' brilliant. Sean Bean was in it too with her. Also from Game of Thrones. So they had a great voice cast here. And as far as the episode goes, you know, it's my big complaint was Sarah Michelle Gellar, like you guys were saying. I don't think she fit that Teela thing at all. Like you said, she sounded like a bitch half the time. I didn't like at the end. You know, she gets upset over the fact that nobody told her about Prince Adam being He-Man, or what? I did like, is that really like with the flip out over? You know, she had just been made Man-at-Arms at the beginning of the episode, which ostensibly you would think at that point then she might be made aware. You know, but she had just been inaugurated into that position.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for everything. And
yeah,
during inauguration, when Grayskull is under instant attack, maybe isn't the time and the place. Yeah.
I didn't understand it, and okay, so they, you know, looks like Skeletor and He-Man wipe each other out at the end of it. Obviously, he comes back again because everybody's talking about him getting killed a second time, which, again, I don't care. And spoilers don't ruin shows for me. I mean, I still go see stuff, even if I know what's happening, if I want to see it. This, right now, like I said, going into it, with all the stuff Kevin Smith, him sticking his foot in his mouth the last 6 months or whatever on the internet, just hasn't helped the case for this at all. And I made a joke earlier to somebody. I said, what he really needs is anytime you sign Kevin Smith to a project that isn't his own project, you need to have a no-weed clause in his contract. I mean, I think you got to put the no-weed clause in, and he's got to have daily drug testing, and we're going to suspend or monitor all of your social media for this, or something, because he can't stop talking. But I just, nothing about this episode, I guess at the end of the day, I don't know if it really got me sucked in. I mean, like I said, part of it is knowing where this is going. You know, I kind of want to bail out before I see Lesbiela. I don't really want to. I don't want to get to that point where I've got to deal with what's on the screen with the half-shaven head and everything. I'm like, come on. But yeah, okay, whatever. I'm impartial on it. Honestly, that's it.
Yeah, Lorena, how about you? The first episode, we'll get into some other stuff later on, but the first episode where Teela is promoted to the Man-at-Arms. So we got rid of the real Man-at-Arms right away, and we have the first confrontation with Skeletor, and where He-Man eventually has to sacrifice himself so Skeletor doesn't destroy the entire universe. What's your thoughts on that episode, the first one? And we might point out that on Twitter earlier today, you were really complaining about that first episode until I pointed out in a reply, just wait for the others.
Which I knew that was going to happen with the others, but I was like, if the first episode is this bad, how far down the crapper are the rest going to go? Okay, so you have in the beginning, there's some banter between, Teela and Prince Adam. And Teela seemed a little too full of herself, but I kind of wrote it off in the beginning. I'm like, okay, they're just messing with each other, no problem. But what I just did not like was just, why is this about elevating Teela with her ceremony? Why couldn't it be something centered around Prince Adam and something to do with him? And the thing is, have you seen Prince Adam? Where is he? Where is he? We can't find him. We can't find him. Why? Because he's out doing He-Man stuff. At least the focus would have been on that. Instead, here, everything is focused on Teela, the promotion that she's getting, where she's going, how everyone's so proud of her.
How amazing she is, and how proud her father is.
Yes, and how she is just the bestest ever, to borrow something from Doomcock. But that's how it came off. The whole battle with Skeletor, like she's really a match for Skeletor. And again, just with them killing Prince Adam, killing He-Man right off the bat. It made no sense to me why they had to do that. And then of course Teal finding out that He-Man is actually Prince Adam, and they decide to have a telenovela drama moment, which I'm sure Mike could tell you about, with that whole scene, in the throne room, and everything is around Teela and her feelings. It's not Adam's.
It's worse than that, even.
Oh,
she was a bridezilla. That's what I kept thinking.
Totally. How could you do this? How could nobody told me?
Adam is literally standing in heaven, dead, fucking apologizing to her. What the fuck? Like, why should he be apologizing? He even has to make the excuse that, like, Teela, I'm fucking dead. What am I supposed to do? Like, and that ain't even good enough for her. Sorry, Lorena, my bad.
No, but that's how it is. Everything is all around her and her feelings. And how dare you do this to me? And how dare you do that to me? And I felt some kind of way about the king banishing, Man-at-Arms or stripping him. I thought that was freaking needless, except
not only banishing, I would have freaking killed you if I ever come back again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck was that needed for?
Where the hell was Adam's mother there stepping in and saying no? Because she obviously knows, and we know that's kind of part of the joke. Like, they kind of always had, of course, a mother's gonna know, right?
Yeah, they're gonna know. But I just didn't like it that at the end, again, it's all about Teela. She pulls her headpiece off and throws it on the ground. Now that stabbed me in the heart, because that just, like, her rejecting everything about the Teela character, her grace, her strength, her stamina, her ability to stand on her own and not be a complete and total bitch to everyone, because that was not about her. And the last scene you see her, and she's got, her hair, her gorgeous hair. And then in episode 2, kind of spoil a little bit, she's got the freaking butch shaved haircut, and to probably put on like 30 pounds of muscle, so she looks like a man. It pisses me off that they just elevate her to make all the male characters smaller. and everything's about her. It's just like, no, this is not freaking about you.
Your thoughts on the first episode, and Teela saying screw all of you, including the king and queen, as they learn that their son is dead, and gripping because she got her Fifi's hurt.
This is not the Teela that I know, because Teela cared about Adam. You know, she would be heartbroken if something like this happened. She wouldn't be, you know, upset about not knowing some secret. And I'm not going to say the secret is stupid, but this is a ridiculous thing for her to be so upset about. And I think that, you know, it's insulting that they're presenting that as a valid reason as to why she has to leave and walk away from her father and everybody else. That's why she doesn't want to speak to anybody anymore, because essentially she's told them, I'm not going to be around you all anymore. Well, that doesn't even make any sense. You know, this is not her character. So it's just, it doesn't feel right for her to be doing that. You know, she would be heartbroken to find out about, you know, Adam, and she would just say to herself, you know, we have to do something to bring him back. We have to make this right again. She wouldn't be doing this. So this is, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't make any sense. She shouldn't have been promoted to her Man of Arms title until the end of the series. So she's proved herself, because as far as we can tell, nothing dramatic has happened that she needs to be sort of promoted to that rank. She was already a prominent figure. She didn't necessarily need that title for importance. They wanted to take it away from her father to make it seem like she had, you know, was getting more responsibility. But, you know, from the way she acted, nobody, you know, would deserve something like that, responding to the death of one of your closest, dearest friends in that way. Like, it doesn't make any sense that type of behavior would be rewarded. And, you know, the idea that Adam has to die like this was, when I was hearing those words about how he had to, you know, he could use the sword and if he had used all his power, he could shield everything. I said, okay, a shield is one thing, but why the death? You know, like that was just done to push him out of the way, you know, make sure we don't see him anymore. And, you know, we can get on with her story. But her unrealistic anger over nothing, you know, it's prefabricated nonsense. I didn't buy it. She couldn't be angry at that. What if she was angry at, you know, she thought that she loved him and lost the love of her life? How about that kind of anger? Something realistic. He's a nice guy. You know, she's been with him all this time, only to lose him for some other reason. Then I could understand her being resentful and maybe not wanting to be around people. But this wasn't the type of thing that you push everybody aside and say, I don't have anything to do with. Like, you talk that out. It's not in the feeling of this universe that would happen. Because I don't think that's ever happened in this universe. Even the bad guys wouldn't do this. Even the bad guys wouldn't step out of their character and behave in such an irresponsible way.
Mike, share your feelings.
Somebody's echoing really bad.
Yeah,
are we good?
An echo too.
We're good now, I think.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna reserve my comments for episodes that are forthcoming, because I have seen almost all 5, and everything for the first episode has been said. But I got some nice juicy little nuggets for what's coming next, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat stream, because I'm about to unfucking load.
Go for it. Share your feelings. It's good to chat.
No. Let's get to the next episode, because my pissed off came in episodes 2, 3, and 4. So
hey, Andre, real quick. That tweet you just had pulled up a second ago on screen from Kevin Smith.
Oh, that was Tom.
Tom, I'm sorry. Okay.
Liar.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I've seen this one before, because I just read it and it struck me as being hilarious. And I don't know. Are you guys familiar with a Samuel Beckett's play, Waiting for Godot?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Basically, it's a play. The title of the play is called Waiting for Godot, and it's literally 2 guys on stage. The whole play is those 2 guys waiting for this guy to show up named Godot, and he never does. This is literally, it's a famous play. This is literally like the same thing what Kevin Smith is saying here. It just jumped out at me. But It's like saying, oh, yeah, it's literally all about He-Man. Well, it's like saying Waiting for Godot is all about Godot just because his name's in the title. He's never in the fucking play. It's not about Godot. And that's the impression I get with this show in tweets like this, is that it's just he's either taking some kind of artistic liberty with describing the show, or he's flat out lying, or he's just high again. I don't know. But it's just that comparison struck me when I read that.
Yeah,
so.
Pretty much. And Mike, before you begin your rant, let's say hi to Polly, who is also joining.
Hey, Polly.
Hey, hola.
Yeah, and we'll have your thoughts on He-Man and everything in a second here. But Mike was about to unload on the very first episode. Now, share your feelings.
Oh well, now I feel bad because the boss is here. Do I feel bad? Maybe.
No, go for it.
Maybe I don't feel bad.
Boss
You know what?
is drunk.
Pretend it's mead.
Okay, that loosens me up a little bit. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike, a.k.a. Mexican Iron Man, rarely on screen. Let me tell you the day I've had. I got up early. I hadn't seen any. Well, I hadn't seen it last night, and I heard a great show from my brother Loki in the morning. It was an awesome show. He had an awesome panel. And, I saw the first 2 episodes, and I thought I was braced for impact. And I was like, no, this can't be as bad as I thought. So guess what? I returned it on while I was doing some taxes and some billing. And let's just say this. Let's bring a little evidentiary stuff into the picture here. This bottle right here, nice little South Carolina little. See, it had more in it, Andre, because this is what's left from what was been poured out. And that sucker, when the show started, was absolutely full. So before I say anything, we're going to have ourselves a little Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah, let's do that.
Little swig here. A toast here to Kevin Smith here. Well, thank you for ruining my childhood. I never go on screen, but it's going to be one of those days. With that said, Kevin, we have some problems, Kevin, because if you're going to do what you did with Tila and all this, Mexican Iron Man's going to go get one of his lightsabers because I'm pissed. Let me tell you how upset I am. If this was going to be the freaking Tila, I don't even know where I start. Do I start with Orko? Orko reminded me of me when I was a little kid. You know what I mean? I was flail. I never did anything right. You know what? And you know what? They just take him in one 30-second little scene. They call him what? An imbecile and a moron? Or what's the other word they use? Imbecile and something else? You don't need to do that. Let me talk about the scene where Adam is walking with her in that little dream bullshit sequence. I mean, could you make him any smaller, any more frail? Could you? Could you just shrink him down? Maybe we make him a 1/6 little Mattel Hasbro size. You know what I mean? And I swear to God, her freaking biceps got bigger every single scene, every single episode. I swear. You know what? It takes a lot to get me. I am one of the Andre and Tom. Am I not one of the most positive fandom people on the net? I think I am.
You are. You bring the joy and positivity.
There is no freaking joy left. You want to take my childhood, motherfucker,
black
Kevin?
hole.
Kevin, you know what? Clownfish might be yelling at you, bro. You made me cry. You made me freaking cry. You made me stop my workday short today. You made me stop my workday short. And you know what? Maybe this shit doesn't matter to you. Maybe this stuff has no connection to you. Maybe for you it's just a paycheck. But you know what? After getting beat up for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in the fandom, you have to come along and do this? Really, bro? How big is the paycheck you freaking eat? But you know what? Take it. Take the childhood. And you know what? This day, I freaking drink. And I'm getting sick and tired of the beta males. You know what I did? I went episode by episode, and I wanted to see who produced this, who wrote this, who let this happen. And you know what? The first episode, it said written by executive producer Kevin Smith. And then it goes on, and I thought, you know what? Maybe all the chicks took over, and he was just a figurehead. Because I know Tom loves him, and I'm trying to give Kevin the benefit of the doubt. But you know what? It's a bunch of beta males. A bunch of guys wrote this. Go look at episode 4. Look at the credits. You know what? I'm sick and tired. I don't give a shit if it's in the fandom. I don't give a shit if it's in Hollywood. I don't give a shit if it's in my alpha dating world. Get some balls, Bean Man. How can you expect to be respected when you take shit and you turn it into Wookiee-ass bullshit sub-level? And maybe I'm a little pissed off about Orko. Maybe I'm pissed off because I saw Ben Bean. I was the only dark-skinned, poor, broke kid in my complex, and all my friends who were white welcomed me in. And you know what brought us together? He-Man action figures brought us together. So take it, Kevin. Take it. I'm done with you. I haven't been this pissed off since I saw what happened in Star Trek and Star Wars. I'm more pissed off now than I've ever been on a Doomcock rant. And Lord knows I've dropped a lot of F-bombs there. I'm done.
Shit.
Yeah, I feel that passion, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I understand completely. I mean, like
I do, and
this fucking hurts me.
Yeah.
Well, as a
Paulie.
Get it. I
yes,
get it.
yes,
Hello, Paulie. Yes.
hello, as a I'm with you, my brothers and sisters. I'm totally with you. On a purely artistic side, like meaning like I'm not a like me and Romy sat down and watched the first 2 episodes right now. We hated it, and we're not, you know, we're not collectors of this particular thing. You know, we haven't seen it in the past and all that stuff. But the voices are horrible. The voices were horrible. This, you know, your voices need to be amazing. You know, in particular with the Tila and the whatever her name was. You know, Andra. Yeah. So you know when a normie as Mrs. Lant can be, you know, if she don't like it, you know we're not. You know, Mexican Iron Man is not off target. Andre's not off target. You guys are not off target. Because I was surprised. You know, it was like, you know, as far as that, she really just like, she's like, what the hell is that? You know, when you can't grab it, you know, it's completely boring. It's horrible. And it's, you know, what's with the title? And like with Valiant Renegade said, when he's talking about waiting for Godot, I mean, you know, I agree with Valiant, but my biggest, I will just say that at least Waiting for Godot was high art. These 2 guys were talking about amazing things in life and death while they were being...
You're correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they were being suckered into waiting for He-Man. At least they brought high art. It's like, all right. I'm not seeing He-Man. This is real. Where the fuck Skeletor? But give me some high art.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not the show. We're waiting for Godot, waiting for He-Man to show up. We're the suckers.
Right, but at least those 2 suckers, on their way to the market, so to speak, we're talking about high level shit, and that's what it was. Such an amazing play. This ain't that.
Mm-hmm. No,
but you're I love that comparison, bro. I just wanted to dip in here and also say our Spanish coverage, Midnight's Edge Español, the Spanish He-Man video that we did has blown up. It's like you got to remember our Spanish site is only like 550 subscribers. Mm-hmm. It's got over 1,100 views.
Nice.
The comments are off the chart. They're from all over Latin America. I've hit several He-Man Facebook groups, which contain thousands and thousands of people. They are losing their shit. So what me and Geek Tropology are about to do is record. We're going to answer back a lot of the comments in Spanish as best as we can, because we've like, you know, this is a first for Midnight's Edge Español, but it connects. It's all the He-Man coverage that Andre has been and Tom has been what's the right word I'm looking for? Has been covering. Has been covering, and you know, so hats off to Midnight's Edge and to and you know, they're bringing it to you guys, man. You know, this is a, you know, it's exciting because your voices need to be heard, right? Whether we agree or not, that's not the point. You know, I don't agree with Tom all the time. That's not the point. I don't agree with Lorena all the time. That's not the point. You know, we you know, our voices are loud and clear and are respected. But the fan, and I use that word, you know, like we know what you guys know what I mean. You guys, the 1,800 in the chat. Good God, it's all about you guys. It's all about you guys. It's always been about you guys. That is why I'm even here, because I was scratching my head a couple years ago, Lorena. What the fuck is Star Wars doing? Mm-hmm. And then the Flandemic hit, and I was like hanging out in chat rooms, and I was like, I'm at home. These are my people. I'm not crazy. So you guys are not crazy. as far as being upset about what you just saw. And I think this is worse, because of what Mexican Iron Man said, because of Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith was one of us.
Well, at least that was what he pretended to be.
No, I grew up with Kevin, man. No, I mean, no, dog. He's not J.J. Abrams. Okay, he was Kevin Smith. This is much worse. Okay, so that is my 2 cents. We will be on Midnight's Edge Espanol shortly with the great Greek Geek Tripology, and that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, that's awesome with the success that Midnight's Edge Espanol has of this, but I really wish it was that we could celebrate that we got a great He-Man, but alas, we can't. But let's move on to the second episode because there's plenty more to talk about. Unless there's
that was just the first
time in, Tom.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's second. That's what I was talking about.
This is just a freaking beginning.
Yeah, Andre, there is one more thing I wanted to say, and it has to do with the first episode. And I wrote something in the chat about it, and it has to do with Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
And, for me, like, every time I went to someone's house as a kid and there was some, a person who was a fan of He-Man, they always had that Castle Grayskull there. And I still have friends who still have their original Castle Grayskulls. And I didn't really care for how they kind of tore down the castle. Like they kind of removed what it looked like and pretended like it was gone. And I just didn't like that. I'm like, you can't do that to Castle Grayskull. This castle means way too much. My whole life, every time I've gone to someone's house, I've looked at their collection to see if they have a Castle Grayskull. So I really didn't care for that. I felt like that was kind of like saying that the foundation of the series doesn't mean anything. This is definitive. I played with Castle Grayskulls with other toys, not even He-Man toys. So that castle means a lot as far as I'm concerned, and to kind of just make it into this weird structure, I don't even know what that thing was. It's a symbol of the series as well, and I wasn't happy that they did that.
No, I wasn't happy either when Skeletor basically said, the power isn't in the castle, it's like somewhere below. I'm like, where the heck did they come up with that?
I didn't get that either. That was right at the end of the first episode.
How much?
No, actually, that has become part of the mythology. So that's actually I'm not going to give them any kind of flack for that because there's plenty precedence for that by now in what is becoming the emerging canon. That the castle itself is not magic. It's not the bricks and mortar of the castle. It's what's inside of it. It's like the orb of the ancients or something like that.
Which is kind of well, it's always been said that the secrets of are inside Grayskull, and yes, that's what gives you the power to be the master of the universe. Are the secrets that are inside. That's always been part of the mythos.
Yeah, so that's I'm not going to give them hell for that. Like that's the least of issues. So no problem with that specifically. But there's everything else kind of like around it, which is the bigger issues. Like kind of like the characters. That's the thing. And same with Grayskull changing appearance. I don't recall if that's part of like the mythos or not, that they built the stones. I don't recall that in detail. But I'm not going to criticize that one bit because there's plenty other to grab hold into with the characters.
Hey boss,
yeah,
I'm gonna get off, and can you check your DM because me and
sure.
Tripology want to get going. Great seeing you, in Lorena. I can say that at the same time.
Lorena.
I know. Good Lord. That's anyways, I got distracted. Valiant Renegade, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Yes, that's right.
I do mean that. All right, I'm out of here. Take care, guys.
Take care, Paulie.
All right.
Bye, Paulie.
Take care.
So yeah,
let's get into the second.
I haven't even got to speak on the first one.
The second episode. Yeah.
Oh, Kevin. Now I'm not going to get as animated as Mike did because that I think he kind of said a lot of what we all feel, expressed it the way we all feel it, and I like Mike. have always stuck up for Kevin when I shouldn't have, even when I knew it was against my better judgment. But I feel like I owe the man a bit of a debt of gratitude to have gotten me where I'm at today in a lot of ways. And I could care less if this show had wound up the way it did, even with his involvement, if he had not just fucking lied to us from the very fucking start.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing, is you kept saying, and we had that tweet up, and I'll bring it again here. You fucking liar. You fucking prick. You know, I'm one for a little bit of puffery. I understand that. I understand playing the role when you got to promote something and somebody's paying you. I get all that shit, and I can overlook some of that shit, but I can't overlook this. You flat out had it all turn into, it's all about how Tila's feelings are fucking hurt. Tila's Fifi's got fucking hurt. The real Tila would not get hurt that way. In fact, the first thing Tila would do was take up arms and avenge the fuck out of He-Man and allies, and made sure they were fucking dead.
Exactly. Do that now. Worry about the feelings later.
There's
but
no way Randor would have done that to Man-at-Arms. Not in any fucking form. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Man-at-Arms would literally have to do some of the most ungodly things in the world for Randor to turn his back on him like that.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, we just forgot to tell you about your son. Sorry. Oh, you're fired.
No,
Yeah.
he would understand. And even obviously
exactly.
the Queen understood.
She always knew, and I liked that because that was part of the original series.
Well, that's the thing.
Elena knew.
A mother always kind of knows, and they play with that in all kinds of like superhero stories. That's always kind of even with Aunt May. I mean, come on. There's always that little through line where there's that wink, wink. Yeah, I know, but you know, and that's the whole thing. It's part of the role, and Tila would have understood that.
Yes.
And then the way as I said, we'll get into the later parts later, but like the way she reacts, the way this whole fucking thing is set up is fucking ridiculous. And the writing is atrocious. Kevin Smith used to be one of the greatest dialogue writers in Hollywood, if not the best next to Tarantino, right? Like that man could, and I said it earlier too, that fight scene when they're in fucking Preternia, and go watch that scene and then watch it next to the scene from Chasing Amy in the fucking car or the SUV or whatever. And you compare the dialogue between the two. Kevin Smith used to know how to write a back and forth between a man and a woman. What the fuck happened, Kevin? Go in your fucking wife's purse, take your fucking balls off, and reattach them. Because you have done fucked everything up for me. And I have sat here and I have fucking stood up for you, even after Jay and Silent Bob reboot, even through all the other bullshit. So you don't only owe Clownfish TV an apology, you owe me, Mike, anybody else who's ever stuck up for Kevin Smith. Because you, sir, are worse than a shill now. You're a fucking sellout.
Yeah,
It's a fair critique. And I don't understand why. It's like, for all the reasons you just said, you know, the Tila that we remember was already a really strong female character. And nobody thought one way or another about it back in the 80s. And I can't say that I watched the 2000 series, really. I probably saw an episode or two.
It's so good.
Everybody's telling me that. I'm going to have to try to... That being said, I don't know why they feel...
I thought I just lost him. It wasn't just me, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I do too.
I think he's freezing just a bit.
Anybody who's wearing headphones, but yeah.
Yeah, Valiant froze there a little bit. But in the meantime, while he unfreezes, let's move on to the second episode. The second episode is now after something of a time gap. We see basically what has happened. Tila has gone full lesbian. She has gotten the activist haircut. She has gotten herself a girlfriend that follows her everywhere. They meet up with Stinkor and they go on a quest for an employer that anyone can tell them, or should be able to say, is in reality Evil Lynn. They go to Snake Mountain. We're able to catch up with the techno cult that Trapjaw. No, sorry, not Trapjaw, but that Triclops has some lead using with the Trapjaw serving as his assistants. They become cult leaders, basically, of the series. A 30-second flashback.
Yeah.
Obviously, this was when Kevin Smith went when he said that He-Man is in every single episode. He counted these flashbacks. And those flashbacks, they're freaking what the series should have been. All of it.
Well, and I'll give him credit for Triclops, because Triclops would have done this shit.
Triclops is cool. Yeah, that was very.
Yeah, he would have totally done this. That
poured myself a reloaded the salted caramel flavored whiskey. I'm feeling better a little bit, but I may.
Glad to hear it.
But it may not all be out, because I have 2 questions for the lovely ladies and Tom on the panel and you, sir. Did anybody else have a weird reaction? I think I physically jumped back in my sofa when I saw that hairdo change, number 1. And number 2, why is Star Trek Discovery's Michael Burnham in this thing right now? Where did Michael Burnham come from? Isn't she busy like with Discovery shit? Why is she in my He-Man universe, Raina? Why?
I can answer that. She's there so that she can toss Tila salad. That's
that's exactly.
But they're almost their personalities are almost indistinguishable. You know, the only difference is maybe their skin coloring in the story. But if you look at those 2 characters, they're almost identical in the way that they sound and the way that they behave. They're not individuals. It's like strange. It's
no, really they're very interchangeable. You're right.
It's like a copy of a copy with slightly cringier dialogue.
Pun intended.
I didn't like, exactly. Because I didn't like the voice actress for Andra either. She just seemed like a non-entity. And to kind of back up a little bit on the 2nd episode, did anyone catch when Andra said "no glove, no love"?
I wanted to die when I heard that. I thought it was so insulting.
That pissed me off. A lot of the dialogue. Look, Kevin can come up with some quippy shit. And I don't mind a little tongue-in-cheek here and there, but that was over the line.
Yeah.
And all the clawful is awful bullshit was awful. Like, come on, seriously, we get it. These characters have funky, funny names, but the pun shit got old after the first 2, and it drags on through the entire
and it gets worse.
Show.
She got outwit, so she quit. I mean, this isn't a joke. This is not a joke. They're making the whole seriousness of what's going on into a joke. I don't think it's appropriate.
Yeah. Speaking of appropriate, what do you think about the relationship between Andra, who incidentally was another ginger in the comics, but Ted Biaselli of Netflix, and he's the one we really should blame for this. He's the guy really in charge of how bad this is. He made like the statement that we race-bent out.
No, I figured if they really wanted to be forward with a lesbian relationship, they would have made Tila and Evelina a couple.
Well, there's another point that, like, well, they're almost implied that those 2 are in a way, but that's the thing. It's funny how this kind of teeters the line with being any way adult and still being a kid series, because weren't we promised a more adult Masters of the Universe series that this doesn't feel like?
I think they could have gone more. Like, if
that's what I'm saying. It could have been a lot more brutal.
Yeah.
Let's kill He-Man right off the bat. You know, we're not going to let you have your childhood fantasy. I mean, just like the stupid comment that Orko was somehow unpopular. They had their own vision in their head of what they wanted to do.
Was it episode 3 or 4 where the Man at Arms comes in? That's 3 or 4, right?
I think that's episode 2.
Was it 2?
Maybe it's 3. I don't know. I watched them all in one big chunk. So here's my thing, though. It's funny you bring that up, Valiant, because I was going to bring this point up a little bit later, but might as well do it now. They basically Jason goes to hell. Masters of the Universe here was what they did.
Yes.
What they did is somebody come in and goes, I got a great idea. Probably Kevin Smith. Why don't we kill off He-Man in the first episode? So then everybody's waiting for him and waiting for him and waiting for him and waiting for him. And finally, he's going to turn it in, because let's be real, Adam's not really dead the second time around. I'm sure he's not. And what's going to save him is him turning into He-Man, but that's not going to happen for another episode or 2. So point being is that's exactly what they did with Jason Goes to Hell. Adam Marcus had this grand idea of, okay, if I kill Jason off in the first 5 minutes, nobody's going to expect that, and they're just going to want him to come back through the entire movie. So then when he finally does show up, everybody's going to be that much happier. No, the reverse happened. Everybody was pissed and went through the whole movie going, where the fuck is Jason? Where the fuck is Jason? So here we are through this entire series going, Where the fuck is He-Man? Where the fuck is He-Man? Where the fuck is He-Man? And I'm not going to get too deep into it now because we were only in the second episode, but the second episode was just a bunch of filler to get us through to the next portion, which is kind of what's on screen here, which is her next setup. Basically, it was to get with Evil Lynn, basically.
And the irony, of course, is that as they get with Evil Lynn, who uses sorcery, at the beginning of the episode, and Lorena, you remember, Teela says something like, the less we rely on magic, the better off we'll be.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Magic is everything in the universe. That means there's no universe. That means no life. That's like being in Star Wars and saying, the force is over.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, who came up with this?
Well, and this is also starts the cock blocking bit where we know, that's what I keep saying, is that's where it should have went to begin with. And it should have been about her struggling to be the new, see older characters that we loved kind of, progress. But no, instead it's the Teela fucking show. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but yeah.
It's okay. But, Lorena, you'd mentioned the first comment where they said, no glove, no love. And this episode had sort of these snarky remarks. Like, it sounds ridiculous to hear Teela say, we're not going to rely on magic. Like, it doesn't even make any sense in this context because they're trying to get the magic back. Like, it's such an odd, position to put the viewer in, because you're wondering, well, I don't get this. This is He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Magic is used in this realm.
It's just, it's insulting. And also when later on Teela quips very snarkily, the less you rely on magic, the better off you'll be. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? It's like Eternia is all about magic. It's built on magic. And that's the essence of all of it. And just for her to behave that way, again, the arch behavior with that, it didn't sit well with me.
That's a good question, Ryan.
I was just going to answer that question. I have a feeling I know the answer. If you haven't noticed, we're extremely absent of a lot of the A game master characters. And I think there's a reason for that. They're all going to show up at the end with He-Man. So we're going to be waiting all these episodes to finally get to see the characters we all been waiting for. That big final battle that lasted 2 seconds. Okay, I know he's probably talking about the one that's upcoming, but we've only got 3 episodes of this left, I think, because it's only supposed to be like, or is it 10 episodes?
I thought it's 10 episodes.
I think it's 5.
Okay, I'll give them the benefit. Okay. They got 5 more.
I'm through 4.5. How many did you get through, Tom?
I got through all of them.
Okay, God bless you.
Here, notice how non-threatening all of the men are. You have the super compliant Roboto, who is there so happy and so subservient. You have a subservient and non-threatening Orko. And then, of course, there's the real man-at-arms, Duncan. Fused with soy, subservient, obedient beta male slaves. Every last one of them. And also, that's one thing. I just want to say this one thing. Also notice that that's actually symbolic in the beginning of the series. It started with the passing of the torch from man-at-arms to Teela, from the old man to the young woman.
Yes.
That was carrying the torch right there. And of course, let's also not forget, thanks for bringing that up, Beastman. And what's his big role in life? To serve Evil Lynn and blindly follow her.
Seriously, simp level, like factor 10 with that one. God, that was horrible to watch.
Mike, you were saying,
how in the hell did he lose his status? Remember that in that scene where they says that, I'm like, what? What? If anything, this guy gets retired out with pomp and circumstances.
We got him to seem angry and threaten to execute.
You're going to think I'm stupid, but I thought that's what Revelation. I thought that's what might come up and happen. But nope. Why would it be that? Nope. Don't give me that either. Nope.
Oh, that would have been a very good premise for the series 1.
I thought that's where we were going to go. I actually was dumb enough to think that that's where we were going to go. That was my thinking. I'm like, wow, this is going to be awesome. And then the King's going to realize, and then everything comes together and all those years and all those episodes.
We should be so lucky.
Yeah, my son. And you know why I thought of that? Andre, you will know this better than me. Why would I think that? What work of fiction made me think that way, that's where this would go? Zorro.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, at least we've moved beyond deadbeat dad to deadbeat son, all in one fell swoop.
Yeah, but yeah, like that's. But I just have to say what Mike said there. That's like one of the important themes of Zorro, the original novel and the very first movie, is how disappointed Zorro's father is with his son. Because he seems like this, well, basically Prince Adam. He's Prince Adam, but in reality, he's Zorro. He's the defender. He is the son that the father always wanted. And one of the most rewarding moments of both that original Zorro story and the movie is the father realizing my son was a hero all along.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and we never got that here. And this is something like every boy and every man out there. Well, there's certainly most. I can't say for everyone, but most certain thing. Like for instance, when you see the disappointment that the father has in the son, that's something that every man at some point has felt. This like, I'm not good enough. My father is disappointed in me. Every man out there. Most men out there will have felt that at some point, and also like that feeling, that approval of a father figure, whether it be like basically a father figure, and we were denied that. I can't.
That could have been a through line.
That.
That could have been a great through line because, hey, okay, let's say you started off like you did with, like you said, King Rando realizing, oh shit, not only did my son not disappoint me like I thought he was horrible to him, he was the savior of the universe many times over. He should be celebrated. And not only that, you know, then you make the next part of the show is obviously we know eventually they're going to get He-Man back, right? Like that could be cool. But then you make the next part of it be about Teela dealing with the struggle of wanting to live up to her father with being the new Man-at-Arms. And so that's where the struggle of the show could have come in, plus the looming danger of, you know, Evil Lynn or whatever. But no, it's all about Teela. Teela. They even inserted her into giving Cringer his fucking
I know. Name. Why? It's like, what?
That is not how it works.
I think that happened in the original series, though.
That may have, but Adam
that happened in the original series.
Adam was the one who found Cringer and saved Cringer, though, in the original story, though.
But I do think that Teela was the one who did that. I mean, they even referenced the title of the episode, Frady Cat. So I'm gonna let's be reserve judgment on that one, but I think that happened.
I'll check on that then because
Frady Cat is the name of the episode.
You know how, Andre, you know how absolutely stupid I felt for thinking that's where this thing was going to go with the Revelations, and then for it to turn out the way it's gone? I felt like an absolute moron.
No, you shouldn't feel like a moron. The writers should feel like morons for not going in that direction. So yeah. All right. Well, let's
wait. Do we want to talk about the scene where they jump on the ship and stuff? And
go for it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, do we? Did anybody think like? I mean, when she makes the comment like he smelled real fishy or some stupid shit? Remember that? When they throw him back overboard, he says, "Yeah, he's."
That's more of the shitty dialogue I was talking about.
It was stupid. Yeah. It was like ridiculous.
That's the kind of shit I was talking about.
I'm like, come on, Tom. Seriously, bro.
No, I know. That's what I was talking about. That's the kind of crap. I mean, Kevin Smith is much more clever than that.
Apparently not.
Yeah, apparently not.
Oh, I mean, I've seen pictures of him. I mean, I don't know.
Mike, look at the beautiful picture on screen
here.
Yes. Who did that?
Check it out.
Of course, Douglas Nelson did.
Douglas, I freaking love you, bro. I freaking love you. Kevin, that's what you get for trying to rob me of one of the few childhood positive memories I had, because I had a rough childhood. Thank you. I love that guy. He does such good memes.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. I thought
love you, Douglas.
Engineering, so to speak, was interesting.
Amen. Though, where did the technology come from out of nowhere? And then second of all, why the hell is he wearing a freaking poncho like John in the chat stream mentioned? He's wearing a poncho. I mean, is he trying to be half Mexican Iron Man? Is that for diversity and inclusion? I mean, Michael Burnham gets there, but a Taco Warrior does. The robot, what is he? Why does he have a poncho on? Robots do not get cold in the tortilla fields. He should not have a poncho on. What the hell?
I mean, I like Roboto, and I guess he got a little extra love in this show. I guess.
I think I can answer that, because if you cover him up, you don't have to draw the wheels inside of him.
Well, they don't draw anything anyway. Other shit's done with computer. That's the one thing.
Fine, they don't have to to render.
I still have a hard time getting used to the 2D done with computer look. It still doesn't capture the same magic as Cell Animation does. And I don't know. I had a lot of issues with the music. Like the music seemed like it was fucking constant music. And at some points it almost drowned out the rest of the dialogue and shit. And it just seemed like
what it felt like? It felt like that the annoying, stupid music when you're in an airport too long waiting for your connecting flight. And the music's playing and it's loud. You can't really talk on your cell phone and it's just always there. And it's
pretentious.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Well, it feels like.
Was this the episode where Tila is reunited with her father?
All of them.
Yeah.
Like all of them.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because, and I can't remember exactly, there's one part, and I sure hope I'm in the right point of the father, and they speak, and then she kind of like oddly comes to resolution with him, and she shakes his hand.
Yeah, I saw that. That was awkward.
It's weird. I'm sorry.
It was a setup for the whole so she does hug him later.
You'd say "I love you, Dad" or something.
It was the
she
setup.
Does eventually hug him, but initially,
it was the setup for her now being his superior. Now she is the father and he is the daughter.
Okay,
it was the setup for that. And before we start losing panelists, let's move on to the next episode here, where they went into heaven and hell. And Tom, they met someone in Eternian Heaven. Heaven, like this drink that's getting to me. I just wanted to show a picture. I just wanted to first bring up this massive super chat from Slimer Snarf that says for $49.99. Man, I've missed you guys. Great stream. Sorry that I've been missing in action. Summers are busy for me. Well, we're so glad to have you here, and thank you for that massive super chat. We have plenty more super chats. We're going to get through them all in the end. I just want to highlight this one because I could bring it up on screen. And John Apocalypse also says, Miruku and Noi are how you draw muscle girls.
Oh.
I'm not familiar with them, but if you say so, I do trust that. But moving on, before we start losing panelists here, Tom, they met a certain someone in Eternian Heaven, and we'll get into Eternian Hell as well with Scareglow, who had a voice that should have been Skeletor's, but that aside, Tom, can you bring up the picture of who did they meet in Eternian Heaven? I thought this was funny.
Oh, so did I.
Look at that picture. Who's the guy embracing Prince Adam there?
I thought that was Andre.
I thought it's a copyright violation.
Wait, the same damn thing, Valiant.
I thought that's what Andre looks like when his shirt comes off after he's been drinking a couple. That's not you, Andre? I was sure that was you.
Might as well have been, but yeah. Yeah, all right, panel. Who the hell is that guy?
That looks just like Conan the Barbarian to me.
Does to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, it just looks like a copyright violation to me.
Yeah, exactly.
To steal a line from Kevin Smith, who said George Lucas is going to sue somebody, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. First thing I thought about when I looked at this and I sent this to Andre and the boys, I'm like, fucking A, I hope Frederick Malmberg going to sue somebody.
Yeah, it's too close.
Too close for comfort, if you ask me. Right down to detail. Like I even made the joke earlier, but it's fucking true. This look, even the helmet has like the fucking anyway. This is even closer to the comic book version of Conan than the Arnold movie was.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Not only that, like this character is called Vicor, and there are toys of him. The toys of Vicor look more like the comic book version of Conan the Barbarian than any actual Conan toy has ever looked. So yeah, I agree, Val. This is a copyright violation right here. I mean, I imagine that someone they were like, just ha, we ripped off Conan and we got away with it. Let's do it again and like really take the piss this time.
I don't think you're wrong. I really don't.
I mean, the funny thing is, like, how zero imagination do you have to be? You could come up with any other character to come up with an entire universe. I mean, we've got beasts and men with all kinds of different body parts and heads on them. And really? I wasn't this dumb when I was 8 years old. Come on. Well, maybe I was that dumb when I was 8 years old. I don't know, but it still looks wrong.
I just thought that was funny, and we really had to just bring that up. But episode 4, the one in the afterlife, where just like in Norse mythology, hell is a place on earth that you can physically travel to, and heaven is a place you can go to from there, and apparently you can go back home again. It's just that you will be warned very, very carefully not to do so. So yeah, let's get into that. How did you all think about episode 4? And like, this is the final one that Mexican Iron Man has seen all of. So the idea of them traveling into the afterlife to pick up the power swords and eventually catch up with He-Man, who has chosen the form of Prince Adam. What did you all think about like that particular story? Is that somewhere the writers even should have gone? Lorena?
I didn't like that. I'm sorry. I didn't. Everybody there is like their best selves, and he chooses Prince Adam. I would say that if it was Prince Adam from the old school He-Man cartoons, okay, because he was a bit more buff. I guess what they were trying to say was that Prince Adam was his best as him being who he is instead of He-Man. But personally, I didn't like that.
How about you? How was seeing the Eternian afterlife as a place you can physically travel in, walking back and forth from to?
Yeah, it just seemed a little ridiculous. And I don't know how many seasons this thing's supposed to go, but it would be like a series finale or something. It was not, like sort of, properly placed if they were going to go in that direction, so soon. It almost feels like a good portion of what happened is crammed in a certain way, and a lot that's happening shouldn't be happening just yet, or we're not ready for it in this series.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the episodes before they get back again? And I don't want to spoil it for Mike just yet. Of course, we're going to really soon here.
Wait. What does that mean? I stopped at minute 10 or 11 in the last episode. You're scaring me now. It can't get any worse.
Oh,
wait. Just wait.
You know what, Mike? Just drop out and watch the last minute while we everything. Just do
all right,
that.
I'll be right back.
Just do that and then come instantly back. And
all right, I'll be right back. Be right back, everybody.
Up. You can actually watch things in high speed on Netflix now.
There's no need to. Just watch it in regular speed, and then you come back.
Be right back. Don't miss me, everybody.
We're preparing ourselves for when you come back.
He's going to be on.
He's the one that needs preparing.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I've seen a still frame of it, so yeah.
Oh, he actually went out to go watch it. Oh shit!
Wow.
I'm actually watching it now. So,
yeah.
And what part are you up to?
I've got about 12 minutes left in the last episode.
Oh, good lord!
Oh dear!
Welcome to the end.
I already knew. Somebody posted pictures of it, and I'm like, okay. I mean, this is again, and this is what I was saying in the beginning. I guess I wasn't surprised. I mean, not surprised by the treatment of the characters and what they were going to do in the direction the show was going to take. One way or another, the male characters were going to get sidelined. And we all kind of had a feeling about it. Didn't know exactly how they were going to do it, but we knew it was going to happen, and here we are. So I don't think Mike is going to come. Mike is going to be so trashed by the end of this.
Yeah. I would say that they weren't just sidelined.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They were emasculated.
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't just, they made one mistake or two mistakes and they bounced back. No, they purposely took away the male aspect. There's hardly any strong male characters.
No masculinity in the series.
None.
The only one that has anything resembling masculinity is Skeletor, and that's toxic masculinity if there is anything. So they kept that, but actual the man as protector and gone, all gone.
Totally gone.
Replaced with Teela and her little lover.
Yeah.
It's
and
following the same playbook. All these shows, all of these things, from Star Wars and everything else we've had to suffer the last several years. And it's not enough just to, destroy masculinity. They don't like chivalry. Chivalry to them is offensive. Chivalry to them is sexism. Being a traditional gentleman, or like you said, being the protector that basically, I'm sorry, folks, the thing God, nature intended men to be, real men that want to act like real men, that's what's supposed to happen. What bothers me, and I was saying this earlier before my internet feed, I've been having trouble the last couple of days with a router and modem, but what bothers me with what they did with Teela, they already had a strong female character. Teela was already a great, strong female character. What they've done now is they look at that, and just like Mandy Summers and I talked about a few weeks ago, that's traditional femininity to them.
Exactly.
That they can't have any of that. You cannot have a girl looking like a girl. We cannot especially have attractive women being strong leaders. There was not, so we got the shaved head with the goofball haircut, like
no boobs,
all these,
no
right,
boobs.
Completely covered
no
up.
Boobs. No boob armor.
Right. In order to make Teela a strong woman, which she already was, they decided, I know what we'll do. We'll make her look like a man. And we'll take away all of her great character traits, and we will turn her into a bitch that looks like a man.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, by the time I got to the end of episode 1, I'm like, fuck it, I'm out. I don't care. I don't want to watch this anymore. I've seen this. Every other show in Hollywood nowadays, it's this.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. It's just this has a He-Man skin on it. Just like everything else. They tell the same story. They do the same thing to the same characters over and over again. They cuck the men. They turn the women into men. And then they just put whatever skin wrapper they want over it and sell it as something refreshed. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Tired of it.
And it's not, you can have a shaved head and still be sexy. I mean, it could be like cyberpunk sexy, where, you have a shaved head and you got like cool-looking hair and,
But that's not what they're going for with this.
No, they're not.
They're trying to make her into like, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Go ahead. Yeah.
They're trying to make her into like Teela the way she looks now. She's feminine and she's strong. And damn, I love them boots. I'm sorry. Boots are hot. To me, those boots, I wanted those boots as a kid. She looks strong and she looks feminine. Now, the Teela from this new series looked like she's been hitting steroids for a while.
Yeah.
For more than a while. And and exactly like Valiant was saying, she looks like a man. When she turns to the side and you see the shaved head side and compare her along one of the guys, she looks like a dude. There's nothing feminine about her.
And how do you explain the transition? Like, because he chose to show her in the original state, and then he chooses to show her in this state. How do you explain that transition to anybody? Because, like, it's just so, I think it's unnatural. I think it's unnatural to the character.
It's
careful
stupid.
with the transition phrasing there.
And it's but to show her like at the end of the first episode where she throws her tiara off and her hair is long. Then you cut to the second episode and her hair is shaved, one side or whatever, and she's a mercenary. If anything, that tells me femininity is not valued. She basically had to throw everything away about her that was feminine in order for her to compete and be better than the men. Because even when you look at the character physically, how she's drawn, big difference between episode 1 and this episode. But it all goes back to the fact that femininity, Hollywood does not like it. They don't like it. Feminism is dangerous. Exactly. Femininity is something that traditionally male characters protect.
And what about and I know this is not the same character, but like Vasquez in Aliens, she was sexy.
She was sexy and she was hot.
And she had her hair shaved, and she was like, the guy was like, does anybody mistake you for a woman? She's like, no, have they mistaken you? Like
that line is so freaking
Have you ever been mistaken for a woman? No, have you?
No, have you? That was Bill Paxton.
But she, like she was fit, and it's subtle things that are done that can make a woman, even with shaved hair, look very sexy and appealing and enticing. And this is not an enticing look for Teela. It's not. It's not.
No, and it's not an enticing personality either, because like beyond the look, it's the personality. Here's like the thing. Teela was always a fan favorite. I mean, she was a character where boys would buy Teela toys and play with her. I mean, you know how rare that is for boys to buy girl toys? They would do it for Teela because she had an endearing personality. Everyone loved Teela. This Teela, this unlikable bitch. This is one of the least likable characters I've ever seen.
Well, and then they get Sarah Michelle Gellar, who, let's be real, I'm sorry, she can't act, and her voice is annoying as piss.
I will say that she was well cast because she really brought out the bitch.
That part, sure.
If they were going for making Teela a bitch, then she was perfect.
She had no variance in her voice, though, between talking about when she's happy, sad, angry. It's all the same tone. I'm sorry. It's horrible.
It's how beautiful.
Yeah, and look at how beautiful the costume is. Look at that costume on her.
I love that.
And they like, oh, come on.
Uglified her up. Bulked her up and uglified her up. What's wrong with the way she looks here? I think she looks gorgeous here.
She looks wonderful.
Yeah,
like the gold, like the panels on her in her hair, and then she's got the matching thing on her arms. And,
and she still has biceps and definition in her arms.
Yes.
Exactly.
What I don't
Mike
understand.
is right. The biceps really grew over the course of the series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, the one question I had is, so somebody explain to me, am I missing something? Because I can't get past the fact that this radical change in Teela's character, big time radical change in Teela's character.
Well, do we have any
how did all that come from just her getting pissed off at the end? And like, you didn't tell me this was Adam. I don't.
Yeah, this is why it betrays her actual character. You know, this is not natural to this Teela character. She's not a person who flies off the handle every 5 minutes.
Look at those fucking guns.
Speaking of flying off the handle, Mike is back and he's finished the series.
Well, I didn't mean that towards Mike.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just using that as a segue. Mike is back. Mike, you have now seen the ending. Share your feelings.
Let me take a quick swig here, brother. Hold on.
Yeah, see, I told you.
Well, I'm curious. Do you get arms like that from fisting, or let's ask Fisto?
Wow, what did I just watch?
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Valiant Renegade, whatever your commentary has been or currently is, I encourage you to stand down and stop watching immediately.
Too late. Already seen it.
He already knows.
Fuck this bullshit! Are you kidding me? Really? I don't even know what I'm more pissed off of. By the way, I forgot to get pissed off about the Joker voice during the whole fucking series. I'm saying, like, the Skeletor voice of Mark Hamill, by the way, fucking sucks. Are you kidding me at the end? Really? We got to find more ways to kill him? We kill him, then we cuck him, make him look like an asshole, and then you fucking, when he's not, what the fuck was that, Andre? Seriously, what was that?
That was subverting expectations.
Fuck this shit. I'm so sorry, Andre. I can't believe I'm cursing like this.
No, go for it. I don't mind.
Sorry, God, oh my God, I'm not being me right now.
Fuck. I mean, fuck this show.
Oh
go
my
for
God. Oh my God!
Oh, and Andre, you got to do it right. You got to do it in the cartoon voice.
Why are we mourning the robot?
Why does a robot look like RoboCop?
Right. He looks like he takes off the.
To be fair, I think Roboto actually does predate RoboCop.
Okay, number one. So he takes off the poncho. Let me go back to the robot for a second. He takes off the poncho, reveals that he's got, guess what? A Mexican Iron Man Tony Stark reactor in his chest. What the F? All right. So he's got a RoboCop head. He's got a Mexican poncho on. He takes the poncho off, and the freaking guy has got a Tony Stark. It looks just like an arc reactor.
Mm-hmm,
I have one in my cabinet downstairs. I'm gonna go get the arc reactor I have for my cabinet. It looks just like an arc reactor.
Yes.
And he's missing arms, and they're crying over him. But who mourns for Orko? Who?
Nobody. Well, they did a little bit.
Because Kevin Smith thought 75% of people hated him.
The final thing they did with Orko was like they buried him, like colored the glass, and then like fucking fool on the left.
If diversity and inclusion matter so much, then why did Poncho the robot die? Because all men don't matter. Oh my God. All right, now let's deal with the final scene. I don't even know where to start. Do I start with Skeletor and the sword, how it ends? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The double cross, the betrayal. And by the way, He-Man is not leaving his boys to go down the path by himself in that kind of format. That just does not happen with dudes. When you're on the varsity football team, and I was, you do not leave the dudes to go into some weirdo alley with some Puerto Rican girl you just met. Unless it's in Tijuana, and that's another story for another day. But I'm just saying, that is not what happens normally. And then what happens? Really? No wonder I pulled my sword out, Andre. I knew what was. I subconsciously, I must have known what was going to happen.
He couldn't even get the words out. He couldn't even finish getting the phrase out. And it shanked him.
I have a headache. I need something.
Yes, that is what it was.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. That's not Teela. I got confused. I got confused. I thought that was I thought it was Teela for a second. I'm so sorry.
I just have to say, like the podcast with the Insulator says, Teela trained with the 88 Eastern European swim team. And yeah, it kind of looks like some Eastern German.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Anybody else see where I would have gotten confused by chance? Just saying. I mean,
Tom, I just figured this out.
I'm more confused than she is.
It's The Last of Us Part 2 all over again.
Yeah.
Tom, if they did that in the final scene, then that means that then.
And this was after establishing if he dies now, he ain't going back to no
exactly.
heaven. He's worm food.
Well, I can tell you he's not going to die because it's actually spoiled in the trailer, guys. Remember, they set up the whole
He just died. I just saw him die.
I know, but look, we remember this is in the trailer. That ain't He-Man's hand there. That's Adam's hand. But what that is Adam giving her the boost that she did He-Man. So guess who probably has the power at this point?
Teela.
Yeah,
she's going to be He-Man going forward.
Yeah.
He's going to turn into He-Man long enough to heal himself.
Oh, God, why?
And then he's going to give her the sword and say, here, this belongs to you anyway.
Yeah. You were always better than me.
Yeah.
I can see it coming. That last shot at the end of the 5th episode there with Skeletor hoisting the sword of power into the air, the lightning bolt coming down. Did anybody else go, Harry Potter? That was Voldemort taking the wand.
Valiant. I got another one for you.
That was Harry Potter taking the Elder Wand out of Dumbledore's coffin, holding it up. The lightning comes down, and boom, that's the end of the movie.
Or Raina,
that's what you just got to end the first 5 episodes.
Wait, what about Raina this one? How about when the scene of The Walking Dead showed up in episode 3 or 4? Did you catch that one?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody, spoiler, there's zombies. You know why? Because we have to have zombies.
Yes. Were they Zack Snyder zombies?
Stupid. No, these are worse zombies. These are so stupid. I'm like,
because it is Netflix.
That's a scene right out of the freaking Walking Dead. I saw it.
Oh, God.
Well, they basically turned the slime pit into Preternia or Subternia, is what it is.
We got Poncho the robot. We got zombies. We got Adam dies. He-Man dies. The Skeletor thing. We got talks on the. We don't have talks on the hallway on the bridge like in Star Trek Discovery, but we have like little talks between Michael Burnham and it's Michael Burnham. Michael Burnham is in He-Man. She's everywhere. So.
No, Andre, correct me. Yeah, no, I'm right. Yeah, that is not Preternia either. When they go to Preternia, that's the Eternia play set, not Preternia. By the way, I knew that when I was watching. I'm like, I'm glad they got it in there, but that is not what Preternia is. It's Eternia.
I think it's supposed to, I'm a little bit woozy on those parts of the canon, but I think
I'm looking at it right now. No, I'm looking at it right now. The box says Eternia.
Yeah, I think that they changed that a little bit in canon afterwards. Yeah, I think that retroactively has been made Preternia.
Does it connect with the snake thing and the other castle bit that they had in Preternia in the show?
But Lorena, you have to be leaving here. But I just want to thank you for being here, sharing your feelings. And I think that we're probably going to have a watch party of the 2002 series before long here. Just to watch this from all our minds. So yeah, just thank you for that.
Fuck, I want to go watch Secret of the Sword right now. Jesus.
Yeah, or that. My God.
I'm gonna go watch that Dolph Lundgren movie now. At this point, for God's
Right?
sake.
How hard did that have to be better than that?
Oh man.
I'm gonna
Come
watch the
on, I
Christmas
actually
special
look-
at this point.
I love. Hey, I love.
I liked it.
Special.
I mean, I know.
I love the Christmas special.
Oh,
Man.
Christmas
God.
special has some of the best Skeletor lines ever.
well, yeah, because you're comparing it to a Star Wars Christmas special.
But guys, I gotta go. Thanks so
See you
much.
later,
for
Lorena. We
tuning
love
in.
you.
Bye, Lorena.
Bye, babe.
Just,
The
have a
Christmas
good one,
special
guys.
is fucking gold. I watch it every goddamn year.
Oh, God
And
almighty.
with that, Paulie is back again.
We lose
Hey,
some,
Paulie.
we gain some.
Yeah.
Hey, Polly.
Paulie's muted, and while he's
Paulie's
muted,
muted,
see,
yeah.
Sorry about
see,
that.
Skeletor even has a puppy.
Hey, we are loading our Spanish review as we speak, and also with tons of commentary and responses to the fans in all of Latin America. It's crazy. Like it literally
of course.
doubled.
Well, He-Man's
this one.
big in Latin America because
Hell yeah.
Here's one thing that most people probably don't know: the He-Man theme song actually has fucking lyrics in the Mexican version or whatever, as opposed to here. They actually had full fucking lyrics to the song, and it was released as a single and everything down there. I actually
I
have it.
didn't know that. I didn't. know
Yeah,
that.
there's the actual words to it instead of it just being He-Man
Mhm.
through the whole thing. Yeah, the Spanish version. That's what I meant. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, the Spanish version, I have that. It's fucking hilarious, kind of.
Oh, we have to listen to that.
Somebody
at
has
some
to
point.
translate it for me. That's what I should have Paulie do, is to help me translate it. Get Pablo or one of those guys on it. Because I don't know what it actually says. I'm sure it's out there, though.
I'll do it with you. I'm pretty quick if that's
You guys ever heard it?
no, but I'm down to do it. With
Seriously?
you. No, but I'm
So-
down to do it with you.
Yeah,
I'd love
so-
to do it with you.
In the link, I'll in the chat, I'll put the link up like within minutes.
Yeah, cool. So everyone, go and check out the video on Midnight's Edge Espanol. Help out the Spanish channel that's growing now, because He-Man is huge in all of Latin America.
Do you think they're selling
So-
a Poncho the Robot action figure that I can go get just so I can set him on fire? I'm just wondering. I'm talking to myself here. I don't know.
Probably look on eBay. Somebody can 3D print you one.
Tom, are you going to get this claimed?
Maybe.
Oh,
What does that mean, claimed? What does that mean?
Disclaimed.
I think it's worth it for this.
So it depends on.
I don't know. Is it? That's a pretty
What
good
it is.
stream. That's probably that's one of our better streams, I think.
Just pause it every few seconds.
I was just going to play one verse anyway.
You want me to translate it live? What?
Please. No, I don't know.
El universo ya está protegido por el poder de Grayskull.
It's got actual lyrics to it, yeah.
Secretos poderes de este gran castillo y van luchar hasta el final.
It sounds great.
Well, it's the same as the He-Man song. It's,
Yeah, but it actually has lyrics to it. The
Yeah.
American version doesn't. It just goes He-Man.
Oh, really?
The whole thing. It's just
yeah. There's a universal. I'll send you the lyrics. Send me the link. I'll get you the lyrics by tonight.
Oh, I'll send you the song.
We already got a.
Ubaldo Gracias got part of the lyrics there.
Yeah,
Ubaldo.
there's no lyrics in the
you.
American version. All it says
Ubaldo
is He-Man.
Gracia.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll be surprised if we actually get a claim, but we might.
yeah, no, I don't. I think we'll be okay. Probably.
You know, that's the happiest thing that's happened all morning. That song to me.
that
Well, I'm
song
glad I
is
could make you smile.
That's the
one of
happiest
the
thing.
most epic pieces of music ever made.
The actual song is. Like, that's one thing that never gets talked about, really, compared to the music in the new show. Like, the original show had amazing fucking music, man.
Sounds like we should sing that for
That's what I
Karaoke
was
Geeks
thinking.
tonight. Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
Jesus.
I have the other version with no lyrics, so you can just add the Spanish lyrics. See, that's all you got to do.
Well, I'm sure we can do something fun with that over on Espanol. We can do like a separate video on that with translations and everything. It's going to be hilarious.
I love the theme song.
Guys, I have exciting news, breaking news. My health plan, according to the website, includes mental health counseling.
Sweet.
So, this is awesome. Given today's
You're
events.
covered. You're covered.
Given today's events.
Yeah.
No, but like, I mean, you want to make me happy in that movie besides making a decent movie, which is never going to happen now because I think it's probably going to be that series they're talking about, if that even happens. I want an orchestral version of that theme song. Just once in the movie. You know? That's all I need.
Yeah, let's see if we can't get that.
Andre, you got it. How are we going to unsee what we've seen so far? And the bigger question is, am I gonna? I stopped at a. We got to finish watching this train wreck. I think, don't we? Or
yes, we have to finish watching it.
Okay.
I mean, like when the next 5 come out.
Yes.
Yeah, of course we have to finish this now.
You got to see what I sent you guys.
Yes, I saw. I'm putting it up here right now. Here is then the video. Tell us what this is, Paulie.
It's this basic, quick 1-minute intro. Darth Haster sent it to me.
The full Spanish intro. Yeah.
No. Watch. Diferente.
Oh, that's a different one you got. Oh, what do you got?
Yeah, but it's badass. It's a little bit of Spanish, like a minute.
Yeah, it's the intro from the Spanish version of the show.
No, it's not the song. Wait. Who's putting it up?
I just watched it.
Oh.
We already played it.
No.
Anyways.
This is a different one, Paulie?
It's the actual intro.
Okay.
Right, it's with a little dialogue.
The song.
I feel bad for the people that put such work into the original series, especially Lou Scheimer.
Yeah.
And he imbued such positive pro-social values into there. That was such a big priority to him, and everything that was done, and to see that completely undermined in this version right here is just depressive and nothing else.
Yeah,
little else to say about it.
We really should get to some super chats, though. I know.
Yes, we should. We have
some piled up.
We have some piled up, yes. So I'm just looking at where we were and where we left off. I think we have found it here. Yes, I found it. Stephen Alton said for 5. Like these are classic super chats. You're just gonna have to listen as I go through them. Stephen Alton says for $5. As Jeremy Johns said at the beginning of his Assassin's Creed review. Fuck. Yeah, that about sums it up. Nicholas Horton says for £5 the true successor to the Filmation show was the Mike Young Productions show from 2002. Great storyline and villains. Skeletor, King Hiss, and Hordak. It was so good, and such a shame that it was cancelled midway through season 2. Luckily, it was cancelled after the mid-season finale, so no cliffhanger. But still, that would have been so amazing. Red Monarch says for $2, He-Man and Snake Eyes are the final straw for me. I haven't even seen Snake Eyes. I'm not going to either, I think. Granwasu42 says for €10. Hail Andre. Get a good flask of akevit. I feel you, bossman. Oh, thank you. That will come most in handy for this. Lord Trinan says for $20. Thank you so much. My sister loved He-Man and She-Ra growing up. Bought the DVD collections for her last birthday. She watched He-Man first and told me when they shouted, "I have the power," for the first time, she shouted it with them. Yeah, that would like be seared into the mind of everyone who saw that when it first came out. The Rubber Band Man says for $4.99, Kevin Smith showed he will sell his soul. I hope it was worth it. Those episodes sucked. Warwolf says, Kevin Smith destroyed his credibility with this. Stephen Alton said for another $5, I wish there was something I could do to fix all of this. I miss the 80s. I want to go back there. Yeah, and imagine people in the 80s wanted to go forward to 2020. The irony. Raiju says for $5 Canadian, may I suggest that part of the recovery process involved rewatching the 2002 He-Man series? I'm biased. We worked hard on that. Actually, we've been speaking about it. And Raiju, if you worked on that series, you need to reach out. Schwarzage says for $5, Kevin Smith owes Clownfish TV an apology. He owes me an apology, me and everyone else. He owes plenty people an apology, and Clownfish TV, I think, are fairly down on the list of all the people he owes an apology to, but they're definitely on there. Golgo13 says for $5, hail all, another drink on me. Oh, thank you. Anime, anyone? So glad I left Netflix years ago. Wallet closed. Hashtag Clownfish TV is right. News Shatterhand says for €5, the H on He-Man's chest looks like the Hordak sign. Yeah, you know, that's funny. It's actually true. That H does look like Hordak's bat symbol. It really does, doesn't it?
To a point. I got Hordak back here. Let me look.
Kinda. He's not wrong.
Yeah, I looked it up and I see
similar-ish.
More than I do He-Man.
Kind of like half of it mirrored.
Which of course would be like nice.
The wings are really long, and they like go up to part of like the upper part of the straps. But yeah,
I would buy that as a Hordak symbol, no problem at all.
Yeah, I could buy that as a Hordak symbol though, definitely.
Yeah. I do realize that it actually is from some earlier toys, but
I was going to say, yeah, this is something I think they changed way back when.
Oh, they did way back when, because like originally it's like
because on the Battle Damage He-Man, it's on that one. I think.
Yeah, that's where it first came in. I think.
Yep.
Because the original symbol, it looks a little bit too much like the Iron Cross for comfort. Of course, it looks like another cross too, which has nothing to do with it. But anyway, they decided to go with this, so it looks like He-Man is a minion of Hordak.
There you go. See, and that's a good excuse for me to use this strange bit of artwork here.
Yeah.
That is a He-Man. No.
I can't get it in any deeper. And then here's Beastman's reaction. No! I have way too much fun with these. I'm sorry.
I just had a bit of an epiphany here. I don't think Kevin Smith was lying at all. I think we've just answered the question in this stream. When he said that this show is indeed all about He-Man, I think he was telling the truth. Teela's He-Man now.
Yeah, so it's like his truth. It's like he wasn't lying from a certain point of view. It's about He-Man, but Teela is. Yeah, I think you're right. He didn't say it was about Adam. He said it's not about Adam Grayskull. It's about Teela, the new He-Man. Yeah, that really does seem like that.
Listen to Teela's stupid line at the end of the first episode. You know, or was it at the beginning of the second, whenever it was, when she makes a comment about, I left to go off and find a truth away from, or my truth, or whatever she said. You know,
she said that.
Well, yeah, something like that. Something like I left to go find. It was even in the trailer, I think. You know, I left to go find a truth away from magic, whatever that meant. Well,
that's exactly what she said.
Yeah. That's her truth. That's Kevin Smith's truth. The show is about He-Man. He-Man is Teela, folks. There you go.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, there you have it. You cracked it.
So it's a new play on words. That's what she said.
Well, this whole thing's been a play on words from the start. Remember, it's a spiritual sequel to the original. You fucking.
Yep.
You've lost your spirit, Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith went to Hollywood and he sold his soul.
This is depressing stuff. We have a few more super chats to go through here. 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser says for $5. Any bets on what franchise is next to have our expectations sub?
No, because I'm sure it's something I love.
Well, they're working on Turtles, aren't they?
Yeah.
And we also know that they're doing Stargate. So, yeah, those.
Yeah, you got the next best thing to Kevin Smith working on the Turtles. That's right. You got, what's his face? Seth fucking Rogen working on the Turtles.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this. There's only one thing I've spent more money on in my lifetime than Ninja Turtles, and that is Masters of the Universe stuff. So, yeah. And that's just because of the vastness of the amount of characters. That's the only reason why. Like, with the Turtles, it's mainly, like, the 4 Turtles and Splinter and whatever. You know, like, but with He-Man, there's so many characters. And I love so many of them, right? Like, it's not just a couple of handful. No, I love a lot of them. And I don't care about their stupid names like Ninja and shit like that. I still love the characters because I remember having them as a kid. And, you know, there's even great characters like Zodak and shit like that that get overlooked. Like, where the fuck was he in this?
Yeah, and they already made him black in the 2002 series, and that was perfect.
He always kind of was. If you look at the original, even Filmation animation, he is darker than the rest of the characters.
Yeah, he is. So he was always black. They just made it more explicit there, and it worked great. Like, if only they had done.
Could you imagine Zodak voiced by like Morgan Freeman or something?
Or Samuel L. Jackson? Or
nah, Samuel's too hot for that.
Yeah.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Sam would have made a good Skeletor, though.
Yeah, it would have been okay.
Wait, why didn't they use the Skeletor guy to be Skeletor? What? I just got confused.
Yeah, they got Oppenheimer playing fucking Mossman. Probably because he can't get up that high anymore. Probably, but that's not. Yeah. But you know what? That would have played into the character, and it doesn't matter because he's supposedly aged anyway, and they may not have been able to contractually. Like, if they had him play Skeletor, that might have, like, went over the line for Filmation.
I was constantly being distracted by Mark Hamill's Joker.
That's what I think it was more than anything. And the thing, and that's what bothered me more so as anything. Okay, fine, have Mark Hamill play Skeletor, but then why would you waste Kevin Conroy on fucking Merman? Like, you got Kevin Conroy and you got Mark Hamill there. Have Kevin Conroy play He-Man. He's got the perfect fucking.
When was the voice tape drop? Do you know when that happened, date wise? Do you know when it is? Because my theory
lockdown. It was recorded from home.
Yeah, okay, see exactly. So they're bringing Mark Hamill in because they want to steal a little Star Wars Final Mandalorian episode.
Well, no, these are all Kevin's friends, most of them.
Whatever.
The only one that I don't know of that he had any connection with before was like the one from Game of Thrones. That chick, Lena Headey. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, I don't think she has any. He had any real connection with her.
Like
before.
Andre said, she sucked.
But a lot of these people are people he's worked with in his movies or on the CW shows and shit. That's where he's met all these people.
Yeah,
and that's where Mark Hamill. He's known Mark Hamill for years. Because he's had him in like 3 of his movies, I think it is now. 2 or 3 of them at least. 1 or 2.
I'm going to start referring to Skeletor as Cockknocker.
Well, yeah.
And the blue blocker.
Oh, shit. I just... This whole thing pisses me off. I'm sorry. I'm like...
Don't be sorry.
I think you missed part of my rant because you went off on your.
No, I heard the whole thing. I had 2 headphones. I didn't.
Oh, I
missed it because I was doing work for El Jefe while he was drinking.
El Jefe.
No, me and
someone needs to work around here. So.
Yeah, someone.
Yeah,
might as well be Polly.
I mean,
Love you, Polly.
No, man.
There was a glimmer of excitement for this just before. I'm just like, maybe Kevin is telling us the truth. Maybe we're just looking too into this, and then the reviews started coming out, and when even the shill media and people like Grace Randolph can't even fucking dance around this shit.
That was the review that I think is like the most damaging. When you have Grace Randolph, who's a fan of the Batwoman TV series, when even she says that this series lacks strong male leads and supportive characters, when that's coming from her, of all people, then you know it's bad.
Yes, Kevin Conroy was wasted as Merman with 2 lines. 2 lines.
And he was fishy.
And then we get Soy Boy, Supergirl's husband, as He-Man. And he does no differentiation between He-Man and Adam. Did you notice that?
Yep.
Like, he does nothing. Nothing to differentiate the 2. Nothing. I can't remember the guy who
have a deep toxic male voice.
I can't remember the guy who did I can't remember his name, but the guy who did the voice in the 2000 series is a pretty, from what I remember, prevalent voice actor. Good. But yeah, he did a good job of doing the kid kind of voice when he was Adam, but then when he was He-Man, he would go up, and it was great. How hard is that? You just do Michael J. Fox, and then you go up here. What the fuck, dude? Cam Clark, that's who it was. Thank you, Warwolf. I knew it was somebody semi-famous.
We just got, well, you guys, but I'm tagged in it too. You guys just got memed of the. It's
we got
pretty
memed?
funny. I'm gonna put the link in here in the chat.
Yeah,
private chat.
I do enjoy getting memed.
And is memed as well.
Oh,
nice.
Really?
There you go.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit.
Uh-oh, this is
I love this.
Oh,
Okay.
I did see that come across.
This is right up your alley, Tom.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Oh, this is
indeed.
classic.
I
I
hope.
love it.
You know, it'd be really great. I know it's not even probably on their radar, but I would hope it would be amazing if, like, fucking. Let's see if I can make sure I'm bringing this up right. If they would do this on South Park, this would be amazing.
This is great.
I don't know if I shared the sound. Shit, did I? No, I didn't. God damn it. Boomer Tom. Share screen.
I saw Arum's face. I was like, wait, what?
Oh,
You
my
got to have the
goodness.
sound
What is
here.
this?
This is off Twitter.
Oh boy.
Who, you fucking fat ass? Kyle. Why the fuck not? Eric. You said fuck again. Stanley. Who? Kenny. Fuckity fuck, fuck, fuck.
How would you like to go see the school counselor?
How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm
sorry.
Actually, what I said was,
How would you like
To suck my balls.
to
Really?
Andre's pissed.
you get to fucking school, you fucking fat ass.
Kyle.
I love that
That is
Lorena's
great.
loving like, holy shit,
Yeah,
dude.
let's give the release the McCracken.
Who was that? That would release the McCracken.
Release
That
the
was awesome,
McCracken.
dude.
Yeah.
Great job, man. That was amazing.
That was
Yeah, you-
awesome.
that is,
So-
and you put all that together in just that time. That's awesome. Speaking of awesome listeners, let's get back to those super chats because I know we still have a few. We
have
got to
a
get
few.
this wrapped up here because we're going to be losing people soon. So
Yeah. And how long have we had the Midnight's Edge Espanol bug up? Has it been that the whole stream?
what's that?
There's
Yeah,
a-
I think we did screw that up. That was
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Just what I just
Oh,
saw right
I
now.
changed it when I was recording. That's why.
oh, that might
Oh.
just happen without us even noticing.
I was
That's
wondering if
possible.
that would affect your show. I'm sorry,
Oh
guys.
yeah, I didn't even notice it till now.
That's the sneakiness of my
It probably
people.
did it while we were doing the Espanol stuff anyway. So there you go.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Yeah, we were recording the Spanish thing. Okay.
Who's in charge of TMNT now, Ryan? Paramount over, well, Nickelodeon technically, but Seth Rogen is overseeing the new movie. And he's going to really key in on the teenage aspect of them. So, you know, more of the crap that wasn't in the original shit. You know?
Good stuff. And then Falkenstahl says for 10 Swiss francs, my condolences to He-Man fans worldwide. Another fandom that has to suffer. It's all a huge shit show. Yeah, kind of. Michael Miller says for 14 South African rands. Breaking. Michael B. Jordan is non-JJ Black Superman.
Yeah, that did break while we were in the midst of all this stuff. According to Collider and I think a few other places now, I think it's confirmed. I don't know for sure. But yeah, he's doing a Zor-El storyline now.
Oh, good times.
So he went out in his way. So we're getting 2 Black Supermen now.
Well, I told
Yeah.
you this months ago. I told you guys that it was not gonna that
Well, we all kind of figured that, yeah, because that was what his people said. They didn't want to do Jor-El.
he wanted nothing to do with that because he
Kal-El, I mean.
respects the
canon,
IPs.
yeah.
Right, and and that the Coates is probably not going to get out of development, especially if William B can get this and make this. I mean,
Valzad, sorry, yeah.
Valzad, yeah. This is
You know
this
what?
looks great. I
That's
sent
what
the
you do.
article.
You support this one and not the other one.
Mhm.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my take on it.
And then we have Mecha J says
Sorry
for
about that. Yeah.
$5.
That's what I need
Tila,
Warwolf for. He keeps me straight.
Tila in this show was acting exactly like Amber from Invincible, the most hated character on that show. And Mag says for $5, get this trending on Twitter. Hashtag Clownfish TV is right. Hashtag I stand with Clownfish TV. And then, Tom, you have to introduce Rod.
Rod Thunderheart.
Says for 10 Canadian dollars. Hail all, getting some more beer and Cuban rum to drink up for He-Man's wake. It doesn't appear to be available on Canadian Netflix, but sounds like I'm being spared something heartbreaking. Sorry, Andre. Yeah, this is a rough one, and it's not just for me, but for everyone. Like, this was a rough one. Warwolf says for $5. As for me, I grew up with He-Man. Saw the movie, The New Adventures, 2002 reboot, all of it. This show made me angry, like punch a brick wall angry. Yeah, and with good reason. Ray Moreno says for $2, cucked away with a wave of his soy-soaked fingers. And Rave Forever says for $10, Viva la Raza, Viva Mexican Iron Man. Trencher.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's really nice. I appreciate it. And by the way, I want to say to the chat, I want everybody on the panel, thank you very much. And everybody in the chat stream, you've been wonderful. And thanks. And I'm Andre, I didn't know I'd have this reaction. I really didn't. And so I thank you all of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Also on that note, Joachim Stark says for 50 Swedish krona, Mexican Iron Man is my new hero. So crossing borders. And going back to the US, not that alt-right guy says for $5, exactly right, Mexican Iron Man, 100%. And Olaf van S says for €2, Mike, I sympathize with you. And the end of the 80s generation. Max Santiago says for $5, stop supporting these people, don't buy their stuff. Support independent creators and anime manga. Become gatekeepers for the few things we have left. Actually a fairly good point. We could use some more.
Well, for those who are into that, at least you're lucky, that it hasn't been yet. So, but
yeah. Fear Sundown says for $5, Hollywood royalties' veil of hatred for the fans who make them rich is lifted. Buying this crap is stupid tax. Turn them into the US comics industry. And Mech1164 says for $4.99, I was a bit older when Mo 2 came out. Still, it was a great, entertaining show for all. This one is an insult to all the fandom. Neil, our good friend, says for $10, my condolences to all of you for He-Man. Not a hardcore fan, but I understand the pain given the Last Jedi. Postmodernist garbage like this sucks. Keep your voices up. Don't let anyone gaslight you. Stand strong.
Speaking of gaslighting, I got the Rotten Tomatoes score up in here. Where did all these great reviews for the show come? Because even I didn't really see a whole lot of positive reviews even out of the mainstream media. But it's getting a 94%.
Yeah, that does not compute.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, where the fuck do you get a 94% out of the reviews I've read?
It's the same thing over and over. You see this, all these movies come out that the audience and the fans, especially the reboots or the sequels or whatever, where they disrespect the characters or they disrespect the story, and you get these critics that just yee-haw because it checks all these boxes.
I mean, the top critic score is even still too high.
I don't understand, but the audience score is just plummeting.
I know you just sent this to us. Well, yeah, because we're being accused of review bombing it now. And of course, it's, people haven't even watched the show. I review. Can't you just accept the fact that something that was made for a certain specific group of fans don't fucking like it? Like, because this is the one fucking time that we can actually grab them by the balls and say, look here, there is no way you can tell us this was made for anybody but us. And to sit there and look us in the eye and say this was made for us or not made for us, whatever fucking excuse you want to make, or call me a bigot because I didn't like it, or a sexist or pig, or whatever the fuck name you want to call me, fuck you, buddy. Because, as I said before, I have spent more money on Masters of the Universe shit than any other franchise, and they owe it to me. That's the way I see it. They fucking owe it to me, especially Mattel, because they're the motherfuckers behind this. In fact, I can't wait till Universal gets the fucking rights back right now. That's where I'm at. I don't feel the least bit sorry for Mattel.
Be careful with what you say there, because you know
I don't.
That She-Ra series, that was
Netflix. I guarantee you a lot of that, because we can see that.
DreamWorks.
I know, but I think it's the fuckers at Netflix, because we know the little bugger that's fucking behind this show. He's the one who's pushed all this shit to begin with.
Yeah, the one, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Kevin fucking toted. I'm pissed. I'm just gonna start spitting and ranting here at this point. And we got to get through these super chats, guys. I'm sorry, you've been patient.
Yeah. Next one is Bobby Yogi says Grayskull sword now takes AAA batteries and lube. Yeah, kind of. Fluffy Panda says for $2. At least Dark Fate only killed John once. Yeah. Yeah, what are they going to do?
Good fucking point there. Oh, the irony in that.
Yeah. And Black Wolf Inc. says for $5, I watched the He-Man 2000 series, and I cannot recommend it enough. That intro for the Snake Kingdom and King Hiss still gives me chills. Golgo 13 says for $5, I was too young when Motu came out. I watched the 2000 series with my daughter when she was 4. Enjoyed the crap out of it. Hashtag justice for Orko. And Greyman says for 2 Swiss francs, Tila has man hands. Seinfeld bass playing. Yeah, like where the Seinfeld bass line playing. Yeah, that would be something. And Rock and Roll Tyrannosaur sent us $20. Thank you so much to restock our liquor cabinet. Well, thank you. We're going to need that after this. Master Clockwork says for $5, getting some serious Dark Fate vibes. Yes, well, you should.
Yeah.
And Perilous Plane says for 250 Norwegian krona. Andre, learning another language is hard. I was born in 1978 with 2 languages, English and Norwegian, plus Swedish and Danish, like all other Norwegians. I love you, sweet man. Me in the 1980s was Transformers lover. Yeah, but that was my second love, was Transformers. G1 all the way. My first love will always be will always be He-Man from that age, with Inspector Gadget at a good number 3. Cesario JPN says for $2, can't wait for Axel Brown to do adult He-Man. And then, Tom, you have to introduce Rod one more time.
Rod Thunderheart.
Says for 10 Canadian
I
dollars.
gotta come up with different ways of doing it. You know?
Yes, I mean, she's the daughter, spoiler for a 40-year-old show, of the sorceress. WTF? How is Tila rejecting magic?
That's the whole point.
No, because she always fought alongside people wielding magic. What the hell? Yeah, it makes no sense. And they tried to tell her like 3-4 times.
More than almost every episode. That's why I said she keeps getting
guys, she's rejecting. That's the agenda, rejecting the system. That's all I got. It's not even like sneaky anymore, and I was like, because I'm like, wait a minute, you're rejecting something that you've protected your whole life, that your character's all about, that you love and hold dear, and you're rejecting the king, the system, and all that. Nah, and magic, this is my engineer. I believe in science. Come on. That's just
yeah, and I'm with Lord Cyber Ram here. We brought this up earlier too, guys. Where was Zodak to stop this? Not so much stop this, but once there's an imbalance, I'm sure he would have gotten involved. Like that's kind of part of his character. Like the whole thing was too large for some of the bigger players to not be involved here. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna get a flashback again to some of the shit that we didn't get to see, but still, that's what I'm saying. Either all the masters are old and we're gonna finally get to see them come out and get dusted off, or they're dead and we didn't get to see them die.
Yeah. And then moving on, we have a few more super chats to get through here, which we are really grateful for. So thank you to everyone who's been sending them in. Trencher1375 says for 50 Norwegian krona. So countryman of mine. Kevin Smith is all about fart jokes, chick fights, and cheap deaths. He is a frat boy in nerd clothing. Yeah, you're not wrong. And Seedart Stuff says for £2, the opening theme reminded me of Brave Star. Brave Star, another love of mine, but yeah, like imagine what Universal could do with all of those if they just had a proper brand manager. John,
hint, hint.
Yeah, hint, hint.
We could do it.
Yeah, could do it really well also. And we got this one. We got this one from Slider Smart. Canada Dry says, do you think this is going to tank toy sales? Oh, hell yeah. Those toy sales are tanking. They're going to tank like the toy sales of the movie line from 1987. What do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be any toy sales?
Well, first of all, there was no movie line actually from the 87 film. There was a couple of figures that came out, but it never got finished. But
yeah, and they got
but I get what you're saying. I don't think these figures are going to sell anywhere nearly as good as the Origins figures are right now. Not at all.
I think that this is even going to reduce the sales of the Origin figures.
I hope not, but if anything, I would say it boosts them because those actually look more like the classic figures. I'm not as impressed with the figures that are out for this line.
No, I agree. I looked at them and I'm not a toy collector anyway, but I'd definitely not have those.
Poncho, Robo, Poncho, Mexican robot hero, Epa, but he dies real fast early in the series.
It is a He-Man.
Yeah, and he was a very good ally in any kind of cause.
He was an obedient, subservient beta.
Yeah. On that note, to remove some of the beta-ness, Ty Remmers wonders, Andre, what is best in life? So yeah, what is best in life? Let's do it proper here. It is to crush your enemies and what was the quote again? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women. It's something that's definitely not going to be happening in this series. And then Bishop Cruz says for $5, forget what they did to He-Man. They turned Teela into a whiner. Her best friend just sacrifices himself, and she whines about it. I must commend you for being very politically correct and saying whiner, because I can think of far worse things to say, and I believe we said some of them before. It begins with a B, ends with an H. Stephen Otten says for $5, haven't seen the show, haven't watched anything Motu related in quite some time. You guys are the true fans. I hate seeing my friends so upset. Well, if we can keep you from being, then yeah, it's good. Praxium says, I can't wait for the next Fat Man on Batman. Is that thing still on even? Well, it's not going to be.
I guess I don't fucking watch it.
What was the question? What about Batman?
Fat Man on Batman. That's like
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sailor Sonic actually just sent me the translation of the He-Man lyrics via PayPal.
Oh, cool. Cool.
I can read them real quick. They're not that long. Translation: the universe is protected by the power of Grayskull. Secret powers from the castle. He-Man will fight until the end. By his side, he has the magical sword and friends that will not fail. Evil forces will not want to eradicate it, and they'll never rest. Our castle gives us strength and protects Eternia. Together, great friends will fight. Skeletor will defeat. That's the translation. There you go.
Yeah. And then Master Clockwork says for $5, this is why you hire real and experienced voice actors, not random big-name celebrities.
Some of them are.
I think some of the voices were fine, though. This is what they had to work with. Opinion.
overall it was good. The problem is, you know, you had your leads in there. The leads were the problem, particularly Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah,
Didn't
she
fit
was
at all.
the worst of them all. She and He-Man were the worst voices, and Mark Hamill was distracting because you're right. All I heard was
Wait a
the
minute.
Joker.
She was Gila?
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar was
Michelle
Gila.
Gellar.
Fucking horrible too at it. I don't like
That's
her. and-
why. Yeah.
she's
Oh my
not.
God.
No.
That's what made Romy's head turn.
I know she has like no range at all in her voice.
No.
I'm
That's
curious
why I
to
said
hear
if-
what Romy's
Gila. Gila.
critique of it was. Yeah.
Gila. Gila.
That's why I was like, when she, in that first episode, she turns around and she grabs the sword and she goes, "For Eternia." I'm like, dude, that's your battle cry? Seriously? That wouldn't inspire my dogs to run out to take a shit. I mean, I don't know where you're going with that one, but I mean, it just, she's flat the whole way through.
Yeah. Bambino, the Chihuahua over here, thinks I'm out of my mind and is like cowering in the corner of my bedroom. Poor Bambino.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on. He just senses that Master is angry.
Yeah. Broken-hearted. Broken heart is probably the better word. But
Yeah, that's a better word, yeah. And then we have a few more super chats here. Dr. Geo Feelgood says for $9.99, where is Rob? I need to hear his rant on this Kevin Smith crap to feel complete. Love you guys. Oh, thank you. Well, for that, head on over to his channel, Robin Shlomo. He'll do something there. And then Gerald Armstrong says for $4.99, Alan Oppenheimer is on the show. Why isn't he Skeletor? I imagine that I don't think it's a contractual thing so much as they wanted a different direction. I think maybe Kevin Smith decided that, you know what, I can get Mark Hamill, so let's do it. Combined with the fact that Alan Oppenheimer is probably too old to get up to that voice that he needs now.
Well, see, Kevin's not one that he would care about that part. I honestly think that, I mean, yeah, you could be right that just Hamill being the bigger draw, but at the same time, I wonder if it isn't something that they couldn't cross that line, maybe, because they, I don't know. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry,
Tom. Yeah.
It could be, but I think that sounds weird to me. That would be such an issue. I don't think that should be an issue at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just want
I
to
think
say,
it's more around there's a different Skeletor, but yeah, sorry, carry on, Paulie.
Our video in Espanol con Geek Tropology is officially up. I'll put it in the chat if that's okay with boss.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Everyone go and check that video out.
Hey, and you know what? Real quick, let me just throw something
fast. It's part reading the comments from all over Latin America and part spoiler review. Thanks.
Yeah, you did a great job, Paulie. And everybody who's a regular Midnight's Edge main channel fan, if you can do Andre and Tom a solid, and as well as Paulie, and jump over there, even if you don't speak Spanish or you're not into the whatever, just give them a sub, because they're halfway there, and we're at 500 and something, I think, and we need to get to 1,000. So if you guys just go over to Midnight's Edge Espanol, give them a quick sub, that'd be awesome. It'll help those boys out big time.
Yes. And also help Mike out, because you're part of both Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge Espanol as well. Let's not deny it.
Thank you, brother.
And then we have the podcast with Ian Slater says for $2. Tila trained with the 88 Eastern European swim team. Got that already. On that note, Black Wolf Inc. says that's not a woman, that's a man baby. And Dal9909 sent us a game over super sticker, and Mr. Tickle Drunk says for 20 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much. Now Kevin has joined in the killing of yet another property with a fan base and folded it inside out to deconstruct it. We need heroes right now, and they can't write them. They're IP serial killers. Hashtag Kevin Smith sold out. Oh, he sure did. John Miller says for $5, I need to track down the live action He-Man. Sounds better than this track. Well, if you haven't seen it before and you start seeing it now for the first time, well, there's no emasculating of the main character, that's for certain. So, yeah. There's that. Warwolf also says, we have 3 references to the movie in this show. Yeah, I didn't catch them the first time, and I never will, because there won't be a second. But
there was a couple things I wasn't sure. I don't really want to watch it again. Yeah, that's the problem. I wouldn't care.
Yeah. Aurora Uplinks.
Oh, real quick,
yeah.
I'm gonna bounce so I can get some other stuff done before my show later.
Yes. So everyone, be sure to check back for Paulie's show later over at Latinos Land.
Take care, everybody. I'll see and
See you
hopefully
later.
Valiant later as well.
See,
All right,
Paul.
guys.
See you,
Much
man.
love.
All right, take care. And then continuing from there, Aurora Uplink says He-Man teaches boys to be bad fathers and husbands. So yeah, this He-Man, I think you must mean, because that's complete opposite message from the original, which was actually as positive a role model as you could get in fiction. Soul King Roo says for $5, as an 80s baby and OG fan, this was an unnecessary finishing move kick to the teeth. I'll never forgive Kevin Smith for this. And Lindsay the Cynical Geek says for $4.99, who is willing to bet Kevin Smith is going to install a blockchain from all the pushback he'll be getting on Twitter? That wouldn't surprise me. Mr. Melange wonders for $10. How bad do you guys think the new Alien series will be when Disney gets finished face-hugging and chest bursting out of it? We actually have an editorial out on that. I'll say right away, I'm not very hopeful.
I mean, normally I would be excited when I hear the words face hugging and chest busting, but I don't know. I don't know where Disney's involved. I don't.
Do you have any thoughts on the new Alien series? Is that something that you're excited about? The one from Noah Hawley? For Disney.
I've heard about it, and I have my reservations about it, but I haven't looked into it enough to draw an opinion yet, because I just haven't gotten a chance. I did see the video you made about it, though, and it was a good video. But I truthfully, I haven't in my mind. I don't have the same hope that I have for the Dune film. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think that's a nice way of summarizing it. Jim M says, just got here. Was it that bad? This sucks for you. Yeah, it was that bad. Imagine the worst you could possibly think it was, and it was even worse than that. The Wall says for $5, part of becoming He-Man during the transformation is that Adam is supposed to gain cosmic wisdom. Where is that in this show? Well, same place as his manhood, completely absent. Clarence Knight sent us a $5 super chat, but there's no message attached, so maybe it was redacted or never sent, but thank you for the support any events. And Sugar Cartridge says for 50 Norwegian krona, prediction, Kevin Smith will respond to the Twitter backlash by a crying selfie on Twitter. Hashtag soyboy. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid prediction, actually. We'll see what happens with that. And our good friend and fellow countryman Paulus Plain says for 200 Norwegian krona, in the modern German Bundeswehr, Federal Defense Forces of Germany, the Black Iron Cross is used. He-Man, He-Man, He-Man. Yeah, but here we have the Hordak H, which is used instead, so that's so much better, I guess. The Wall says for $5, a show made for little boys. No mother or father who cares about their son should ever let them watch this show. No, I agree with it. Like, this is not something you can show to anyone. You can't share this series with your kids. Can't be done. I mean, if you want to if a parent wants to share the love of He-Man, it's the 2002 series. That's what they have to go back to. Kiki Haida.
Start them young on the Filmation series, but yeah.
Yeah, if they're young enough. But the problem is that, yeah, sorry, carry on.
What is going to be the message? Because almost every other He-Man that we've watched has a positive message or some sort of message. And what's the message on this series? What would it be? Like, even if you went episode by episode.
I can answer that. I think the message is that every day you need to do more curls and work on your triceps.
That's one message, and also all men are bad.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a man, just give up everything right away. Or if you're a boy, then don't even try. Just like bow your head in shame.
God, the whole line about the Oracle and Orko. Did I miss that in the original series? Like, that never came up before, did I? Or did that? Did I miss that when I was a kid?
Oracle, I don't recall. There were multiple Orko episodes, so it may have been there, because there were quite a few Orko-centric episodes where we saw his family in Trolla.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to. That could have been in the original series. There are many things here that you might think were from. Were something they invented was actually from the original series. So yeah, I don't know, that might be that too. Could be.
Yeah.
And then we have Kiki Hideout, who says for $20 Mexican. And for that, Kiki Hideout says social justice is communism in disguise. Adam Wofford says for $10, so the Grey Skull was transformed into a castle with the giant skull on it to scare away those that would use knowledge for evil. Adam was chosen to be a protector against the forces of evil. And yeah, there's canon of that. So yeah, pretty much. Golgo13 says for $2, the He-Man theme song makes this old man cry. Yeah, I agree. Like that theme song, that hits on the emotional string, doesn't it, Mike?
Yeah. I'm going to answer for. Well, I was going to say I was asking for him, but no, I was just going to say C because you didn't answer. But thank you, Fears the Mind Killer, for joining us.
Claro que sí. Claro que sí.
He upgraded to Crom.
Oh, nice! Awesome.
Oh, Crom smiles upon you this day.
Yes, welcome to this level. It is a very cool. It's cool being a member at this channel. There's some cool stuff that you get access to.
Yeah, and then we have JF, who says for €5, any idea why Mattel allowed this? Was it just to get a last payday with relaunching the classic toys? Yes, that's exactly why. That's why. That's what they're into, because they have to. They lose everything in a year and a half, and for that reason, they just have to use everything they can, squeeze every last drop out of the brand now while they still can, without having to compete with Hasbro.
Good luck after today.
Yeah. ORJ says for £5. In a Hollywood of female pretenders of girl power, there is one model of real power, and she doesn't even have powers. Lois Lane from Superman and Lois. Yeah, I've been hearing good things about that show, so that may very well be correct. And then Sugar Cartridge says for 100 Norwegian krona, do you think this anti-male SJW agenda in entertainment will face major backlash soon, or will people just accept it ad infinitum? When will it stop? How will history view this era? I'm going to let you guys go first. What do you think?
They're not going to know. Younger generations may not know until they watch shows from years ago, and they'll see the differences. They just won't be aware that it's even being shown to them, or that there is even an agenda that exists in the material. That's what I think is going to happen. They'll have to go back a few years and pull on some of the original material, and then they'll notice the difference. That's what I think is going to happen.
Lupita's here.
Sorry. We weren't laughing at you. It was the super chat.
It was a super chat that came in, my dear.
Lupita's here.
I actually, I think the pendulum will. We'll deal with Lupita in a minute, and I think the pendulum will swing. It's already starting to swing, and it will swing back. It's just going to be it's obviously going to be a little bit more pain and suffering before it does get to. It took them a long time to get to these properties. It's going to take us even longer to get out. Mm-hmm. But for the foreseeable future, we do have a problem with this generation. You know, someone else in the chat, I can't remember his name. He made a comment, and I think he super chatted out, and he said something like, Mike, it was that super chat where he said he has a kid, and, you know, we're the first generation that can really, you know, share our things we loved along with our kids and all that. And, yeah, I mean, we've got to be good stewards and not just leave things to the electronic devices to do things we need to do for our children.
Right.
Yeah, I agree completely. And in terms of when this is going to stop, well, when the people funding it run out of money, that's when, and not before. Then Rama says for 100 Indian rupees. Thank you so much. Starts with B and ends with H. Andre, please be clear for us. We need clarity. Boorish, Buffalo, Blubbermouth, Blemish, Butch. I can keep going. Yeah, okay.
All those work.
All of those work, yeah. I was, starts with B and
Boulder Dash.
Boulder Dash.
Yeah, and Brett Cohen sends us a $5 Australian super sticker of a kitty, so thanks so much for that. Sugar Cartridge sent another 20 Norwegian krona saying Soyman and the Bastards of the Looniverse. Yeah, that's not a bad one. Warwolf says, I can name the references if you want, guys. Yeah, sure, please do.
Warwolf, yeah, you keep me on my toes, buddy. So
yeah,
feel free to send me.
And Perilous Plane says for another 100 Norwegian krona, shaming in Hollywood in Facebook. Yes, absolutely. And then finally, Tom, you also have to repeat the name. That's the one.
Rod Thunderheart.
I'm definitely going to treasure and watch my older original He-Man series, tracking down the 2002 series. Yes, ran out of space. Sorry, Andre and everyone. No, that's all right. I just hope you're able to find it without it costing like the shirt. It's a shame. It's a shame that thing is not available on Blu-ray. It's actually it's a disgrace.
I agree.
Now is when we need it. We have to have a watch party of that thing.
Just like I hope someday in somebody's garage somewhere, someone's grandpa who happened to work at some television station just happens to have all the episodes of He-Man and She-Ra on 16 millimeter just in a box somewhere. Well, a couple boxes would have to be a lot of them, but the chances of that are so fucking slim. Anyway, Lupita is next here at Mexican Iron Man.
Tila got her money. Lupita is still waiting. Oh, hi, Fat Steven.
You owe more than Dre at this point.
And Martin Trusbach says for 50 Danish krona. Thank you so much. Just finished the Motu series, and holy hell, fucking dumpster fire. First Star Wars, then Star Trek, then Doctor Who, and now He-Man. I'm pissed off. Yeah, just go and watch this entire stream. You'll see you're not alone in that. Like this was painful. This was just painful and appalling.
And with that, I think we're caught up on.
Yeah, I think so too. I also think that we are caught up. So with that, it's time to thank this lovely panel for making this wake be what it was. So thanks to Lorena Criol, who was here earlier, to our good friend and compatriot Mexican Iron Man, of course, our esteemed guests, and Valiant Renegade, who has a great channel you all need to go check out. You put out a video earlier today. What are you going to tell us about that?
Oh, yeah, you can check it out on my channel, Valiant Renegade. It's Valiant with 2 L's, matter of fact. Did a video this morning. We talked about the Netflix numbers that came out a couple of days ago, and then yesterday we got the numbers from AT&T with their second quarter financial reports. And of course, my focus on that is to dig into the subscriber numbers. And as you guys were talking about Dune this morning in the morning show, I think I chatted with you guys a bit on there while I was at the office. But yeah, I think, you know, I was skeptical of HBO Max, Warner Media's decision to do this day-and-date release. I still don't like it. I still think a 30-day window, 45-day window would have suited them better. But I think their plan's working, and like I said this morning, my prediction right now, Dune is going to break 200 to 250 million domestic, I think, easily. I think they will they will double their monthly haul on subscribers, new subscribers in the month of October, November, in that 30-day window. I think they're going to make their money. They're going to have to stroke a check to Legendary like they did for Godzilla Kong for about 225, 250 million. It's probably going to cost a little bit more for Dune, but I think they're going to do it because over the course of a year with the new subs, they can amortize that out. So go check that video out. Go watch a bunch. I need about 2,000 watch hours, guys, and I appreciate this community so much. I'm at about 1,100 subs right now. A lot of them have come from Midnight's Edge, so God bless you all. I appreciate you so much. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Subscribing is great. I welcome everybody, but please help me get those watch hours up. And thank you, Andre. Thank you, Tom. And good to see you as always.
Yes. Bye, Mike. It was great hanging with you too, Valiant.
And my, you know, we talk all the time. Freaking, I love Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah. On that note, also be sure to head on over to Midnight's Edge Espanol to see the video there. But right now, in this moment, head on over to Gary Nerdrotic's channel, to Friday Night Tights. Link is in the description there, and tell them Tom and Midnight's Edge sent you. And Tom, you'll be there later on, won't you?
I think so. I'm not sure if I'm coming in early or not, but probably not. I'll probably be there my normal time since, yeah, it's usually the way it works. But yeah, I'll have plenty to say there, I'm sure, as well. So
yeah, so
sure I hope Kevin Smith is listening there, because I'll call him a sellout there too.
Yeah, he kind of deserves it. Like
he does.
I brain BSLE more, but Smith's dead to me at this point.
I can take him as a shill all day long, but now he's a fucking sellout. And Stephen Otten, I don't know if I think you remember already, so I think he just went up maybe, but
upgraded to Crom.
That's what I was thinking. Crom smiles on you this day.
Crom does indeed. So enjoy the Norse mythology coming your way.
Yeah.
So yeah, and with that, everyone, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Week. And we're going to have a watch party of the 2002 series really soon here. So yeah,
that means I got to dig that out.
Yeah. All right. With that, everyone, take care. Have a great continued day.